Hello, everyone. Hello,
Oh,
hello, hello. First of all, thank you, Raiders, so much. If you guys have stuck around, this is the intro to our show. I am one of your hosts, DBag91. I'm joined by the ever beautiful Danger Water. This is
thanks.
the Double D Estrogen Power Hour, where we do a whole bunch of dumb shit.
Right.
Usually, we start off talking about our lives, the weekend, general updates. And then we get into maybe some Am I the Assholes? We've done some other, Reddit type posts before as well, but Am I the Asshole is just a favorite. Wow, I just noticed my nails match my shirt. Anyway,
Hot.
the ADD
I just
kicked
had
in.
to change my camera around so you guys can kind of see my super cool sign. I'll talk about it later, but
It is so cool.
my ADD is kicking in.
Dude, same. It has been a long day. This week, I'm onboarding 2 new people at work. And so I was in like back-to-back meetings this morning after being
Yeah.
sick over the weekend. So like I didn't
Ah.
work yesterday because I was vomiting horrifically. And so that was a great, fun, happy
Oh
time.
no.
So then
That's
like I'm
sad.
trying to catch up on work from all that I missed yesterday while still like
Right.
having, hours of my day taken up by onboarding people, which I
Right.
love and I'm so happy they're there, but I'm just like, ugh. So my brain used up all of its like collective power to focus on items and
I
now
don't
there's no
blame you.
focus.
Yeah. No, I don't blame
It's
you.
gone.
Uh yeah, I still haven't gotten my meds, which looks like it's gonna be tomorrow, which means my ADD is out of control.
Yeah.
But got up, we went and voted.
I did too, but I
That
hate
was about it.
stickers, so I just have mine like here off to the side because I
Ah,
don't like
fancy
stickers.
schmickers.
I know, isn't it nice?
Fancy schmancy
I
sticker.
voted.
What happens when you live close to the capital? They get the cool shit closer to you.
Yeah, we get
You
the
just get
government
the
stickers.
like outdated 40-year-old. Anyway.
But I mean,
Uh
yours is at
yeah.
least it'll go with a lot of things. It's just solid, you know.
Yeah, it is just solid red and it's that standard design and it's smaller than
Yeah.
yours, it looks like. So
Um,
um
hand for comparison. Yeah.
yeah. So I mean it's probably
Yeah, but I also have a big ass hand.
that's fair.
Like I'm like, how else can I show how big my
Is it
hand
like
is?
a silver dollar or a half dollar?
Like
Quarter?
this is one of the 200
Yeah,
tab bottles of Advil.
right.
That's my hand in it. So
Banana for
it's about the
scale.
same size as like the bottle of
Yeah.
Advil.
Okay. That's good
So
to
if you can imagine a 200 tablet bottle of Advil, that's the size of our sticker. Again, welcome y'all to the ADHDs. Maybe we
we
should
have
rename our show
ADHD,
the ADHDs because that's where we're at.
right?
That's where we're
100%.
at most weeks.
Oh yeah. But that's what
Yeah.
makes us fun and relatable. Haha.
Sure.
My camera's gonna
Yeah.
be a dick again this week. It's been like fine for the most part. All week I haven't streamed. Maybe it's just streaming, but I'm not streaming even from my
Yeah.
computer. So doesn't make
Did
any
you cut your
sense.
hair?
I did not. I just actually have it down finally. I showered early
Oh,
while I washed my hair. I didn't fully
that
shower
must
because
be
I
what
was
it
being
is. It
lazy.
looks nice. I like it.
Thanks.
Yeah.
I mean, I've cut it off and on. I bought one of those thinning shear things. I can just cut
Hmm.
layers into it, especially when I bought the tape and extensions to just kind of layer around.
Yeah.
Dave, quit messing with my camera right now. I did that on
I'm so
purpose.
confused.
He's gonna be mad at me when I move everything again in a second.
Yeah.
Because look at what we found. Okay, now I have to. I'm just moving the camera. Uh,
I can see
the
it. Yeah.
the delay is fucking me up. Okay, but
I know, right?
see, isn't it cool? That was
It
sitting in
is
our
so
basement.
cool.
For those of you that don't know, that's my hockey team's logo. And it was a light that my cousin had bought for my grandma apparently years ago. My grandpa never hung it up. So it sat on the pool table downstairs, and then Matt found it, and I was like, you're coming home with me. And by
Right?
that I meant coming upstairs. Hung it on the wall.
It looks so
Claimed it as my
nice.
own. I just had to clean the spider webs off of it, which were a little terrifying.
I bet there's a
Uh,
lot. Yeah.
it wasn't a ton, and I had sprayed it before I even brought it into my bedroom. I sprayed it with stuff downstairs to hopefully kill anything inside of it.
Good.
But I'm super excited about it. I think it looks really cool, and it'll look really
It
cool back there
does.
for our hockey podcast too. Which
Yeah.
we'll record
Absolutely. I
that.
like it.
Yeah, I am good. Fen, how are you?
Yeah. How are our friends in chat? It's been a while since we streamed. I know. We missed last week because
You had a mic.
got
Well, oh
the
yeah, your booster
I got
made
the
you.
Shmoo booster.
Yeah,
Since this is going on YouTube,
and
I
your
can't
flu
say that
shot,
word.
right?
They
So
get
on top of
mad.
it, right?
Yeah. So
But so you had
I
two.
was fucked up last week. I felt like shit.
That
And I'm
was
still having like my lymph nodes on this side because I got it on my left,
yeah,
are still so fucking swollen and tender.
yeah.
It sucks, but like I said, I'm about to do some work stuff and be around people, so I have to like, you know, do the healthy things.
When this is well, I mean, it at some point will be. That's what matters.
Yeah,
Um, yeah, I have not had mine either. I'm gonna do that probably next month. I have to go in for my yearly uh
yeah.
exam and stuff. So I'll
I
probably
hate
do that
those.
when I have to physically go into the clinic and
Yeah,
do my flu shot and that. Matt just got his flu shot, but not the but I was really proud of him because he got his HPV vaccine, which if you don't know, even
good.
for boys as teenagers, it's very important to get that.
Never gonna give you up, never gonna let you down, never gonna run
he's like, Mom, fuck cancer when he got in my car. And it's like, that's right.
Yeah.
Did you not know that, Chris?
Yeah, it's
Like
something that was,
the
like, largely marketed to young women, but it
right.
is actually for, like,
Because
everyone.
the HPV, the virus that is causes HPV, we just got
No, we just
rickrolled.
got rickrolled?
What?
Who's we? The royal we? We
Oh,
didn't hear it?
Dave.
No, Dave must be playing shenanigans.
Yeah, he didn't realize that he we could all hear it, or that you could all hear it. He's fixing things on the back end of. He's fixing his back end. Damn it.
That's so funny.
Um,
That's hilarious that y'all
but
heard it
that
and we
was
don't. It's like
horrible
business
timing
as
to
normal.
rickroll the crowd, Dave. I'm talking about a
As we're
serious thing for
talking
young
about
men too.
HPV. That's so
Damn it.
funny.
Look, I didn't do it on purpose,
No, I
okay?
know, but it's one of those like perfect, hilarious timings. But in
Yeah.
like, oh no, I was talking about how proud I was that Matt got his HPV vaccine because for those of you that don't know, HPV virus can cause cancer in young men as well.
Mm.
And he was eligible for it like at 10, but they said for sure by 15 he should definitely get it. He turns 14 next week. Oh my god, that hurts on the inside. Um,
Yeah, absolutely.
but yeah, so he got that. He said it wasn't as bad as they thought. He thought it was going to be, so. But apparently it's not a fun one.
I just hate getting shots and stuff in general.
I hate vaccines.
And so I, as a 31-year-old adult, will treat myself to ice cream afterwards
As
because
you
I fucking
should.
deserve it. You know what I mean?
As you should.
Anytime
I
I get like
still
medical stuff, I'm like, you know what? Fuck that. I deserve a McFlurry if
I
I can find
will
one.
hate I will still ask nurses occasionally, especially if I can tell they're having a bad day. I'll be like, "Can I have a sticker? I was a good girl. I didn't bite you. Can I please have a sticker?"
It was an option. It was definitely
Right.
an option. My
Um
little brother's dog just got his balls removed today, which was great because when I saw him over the weekend, he was like humping my mom's leg and stuff and tried to take a big old bite out of my boob. And it was really hard not to, in front of my parents and my brother, be like, hey, that's reserved for the second date, okay? So I'm very proud of myself that I didn't say that because I don't think
I
that
mean,
they would have found it as funny as you guys do.
I absolutely find that hilarious.
Right.
Like,
But
oh,
also, that
fucking buy me
dog
dinner
needed
first
his
there.
balls removed. He was acting wild this weekend.
Yeah,
Yeah,
poor puppers. He'll never be
I
able to
know.
trust anyone ever again.
Well, he'll be fine. He'll live.
Yeah, right. Um, yeah, no, other than that, Matt and I just hung out, and he's going to New York tomorrow, so I don't see him at all this weekend. I won't see him
Oh,
for like 10 days, which is fine. It just,
yeah,
growing up, he's going places.
I know. That's
And I did
always
the
so
whole
tough
like,
as a
okay,
parent.
make sure you shoot me a text as soon as you guys land. And he's like, why?
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, just fucking do it.
Shut up and listen to your mom, Matt.
Right. In the meantime, Steve is like, yep, I got it. Like, I got you.
Yeah. You know what? I still do that with my parents, though. And I do that with my parents when they go places that I'm not going. I'm like, hey, just let me know when you guys get in. And if I don't hear from them within like an hour of when I expect them to be in, I'm like calling them and I'm like, are you guys dead? What's
Yeah.
happening?
Did you
And they're
die?
like, it is not that big of a deal. You need to take several chill pills. Like,
Well,
we're
you
adults
didn't leave
here.
me
And I'm
any.
like, well,
And my
I'll say that
comeback is
next time.
always like, well, I'm so very sorry for fucking loving you and
Yeah,
caring about you. How very dare I?
right.
Yeah. God
God forbid.
forbid. Yeah,
Exactly.
precisely. God for fucking bid. I want to make sure you make it a-okay.
Yeah. I mean, that's all I care about.
Or I'm just checking to see, because if you did die, I want to know. I mean, that's my inheritance money right there.
Yeah,
I
sure.
said that to my mother one time, and she's like, I'm writing you out of my will. And I was like, fine, I take it back.
I was talking with my parents because like there was the 1.6 and then 1.9 billion dollar
I
lottery
know.
here in the U.S. this week, and so I bought tickets for the 1.6. I didn't for the 1.9. And I was talking to my mom like, this is what I'd do if I'd win. What would you do if you'd win? And all that kind of stuff. Um, and I was like, I hope you win it, but I also hope I win it just slightly more. Not because I don't love you and don't want nice things for you, but just like I would like that money. And
Like
she goes,
I
well,
would
I don't
also
hope you win it at all. And I was like,
rude.
excuse you? And she
Yeah.
goes,
I'm like,
yeah,
well, now
because
you're
then
not
I
getting
won't
a
get
cut of
any
my.
in the inheritance.
Yeah.
And I was like, that,
Yeah. Yeah. And one
excuse you?
person won all of that. It was
I know.
unbelievable.
That's
I
insane.
can't
Good for
imagine
them,
like
though.
it. I would love to win the fucking lottery. But at the same time,
Yeah.
I'm like, I wouldn't want my family to. I'd be like that one guy that wore a mask. And we talked about
Yeah.
this. I don't know if it was on this show or not, but we talked about this a couple weeks ago where some states you're not allowed you're not allowed to be anonymous when you win.
Yeah.
But some places you are. I think everywhere you do have to show up in person to collect, and there's always some sort of pomp and circumstance. But yeah, this guy legit like wore, I think it was the ghost face mask when he went to
Mm-hmm.
sign the paperwork and stuff, and because he couldn't, keep people from taking pictures for the newspaper or whatever. Like that would be what I
Yeah.
would do. Fuck all my
Same.
family at this. I mean, I love
I would
them.
tell
Don't get
like
me
some
wrong, but
people, but like for the most part, I'm
yeah,
keeping that shit a
I'd
secret.
be,
I'd be spending 6 months in Europe, though. I can tell you that for fucking
oh yeah,
sure.
I would too.
Hell
Yeah,
yeah.
me
I'm a
too.
backpack. First of all, I'm taking a first class flight because if you're going to go to Europe and you have billions of dollars, why would you fly anything less?
Right.
Second of all, I'm staying at like the fanciest of hotels.
Fuck
You know what I
yeah.
mean? Like I'm going to spend some of that fuck you money
Yeah.
right out the
Right.
gate.
Right. Yeah. Easily. And I would,
Yeah.
definitely like put a bunch of it away. I would invest a bunch of it,
Oh, yeah.
put some just in some high interest savings accounts or CDs or whatever where it can just grow and I'm not at risk of losing it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, there would
Well, so
definitely
that's the
be
thing.
spending
I did the
a
math
decent
for it
amount.
for the $1.6 billion one,
Yeah.
and you have to pay like 37% in federal taxes. And
Right.
then because of the state that I live in, like there's additional taxes for state taxes and Social
Yeah.
Security and all that. So I looked it up and I did all of the math, which is crazy for me. For anyone who knows me, I fuck math. Like I hate math, but I did it. And most people go with like the lump sum payout because you get it
Mhm.
all right then. But it was like if you did that, it was $429,000 or $429 million,
Yeah.
which is still a fucking ton of money.
Oh, it's a ton, but
But
it's so much
it's
less
so
than
much less.
1.6 billion.
Yeah. So if you did the like annuity where it gets paid, you get a portion
Yeah.
of it every year for 30 years. It was like 860 something
Right.
$1 million. So it's literally double the lump sum. Now,
Right.
granted, that means you're only getting roughly $30 million a year, but like $30 million
Oh.
a year is still a fuck
Well,
ton of
and that's
money.
the smartest way to go about it for especially if you're somebody, so
Like our
many like
age.
lottery winners go bankrupt because they just spend
Yeah.
the shit out of all of that money.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, it would be nice to like somehow split the difference between the two,
Yeah.
But even 30 million, like that would I'd buy a house,
Dude,
buy
you
a
can
bigger
do so
car, like
much.
still get to
Yeah.
travel.
Absolutely.
I mean, like in a good year, I break 30,000 in
Yeah.
income for the year. Can imagine that.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm gonna get
Annuity
depressed
for
about
you.
not
Yeah.
having.
Not having $1.9 billion or
Yeah,
$2.04 billion. Yeah.
right. Yeah, it's just gonna make me sad.
Right?
100%.
What could you do with that kind of money, Finn?
Make like 30. Yeah.
I mean, I would do so much of that money. I have like so many plans. It's insane.
Right.
But the very first plan is a vacation. And anyone who says otherwise is lying.
Right.
Vacation or a house. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
LTN would have billboards. Fair enough. Well, I know we were talking about weekends in danger. You already told us a little bit about yours and how you found that beautiful
Yes,
Minnesota Wild
right. She
sign,
pretty.
which again, I'm so jealous of. That looks fantastic. The way
And
it's lit up is perfect.
I think I could easily make them. I would just either need like a good laser cutter, or Dave said he might be able to do it with a particular type of saw that he already has. So
Yeah.
I like where I live and I don't like leaving. Yeah, that's
Dude, Chris, what are you talking about? You hate people, so no vacations. The best vacations is the one I took this past August where I literally went to like a cabin in the woods
yeah,
and told everyone to fuck off and not to text me for 3 days. That's
right.
the kind of vacation I'm talking about. Like, just like be you and your, although I would also be going to Europe, but I'd still be doing
Yeah.
my own fucking thing and telling people not to talk to me. So, you know, um, anyway, yeah, this weekend I finished up our lacrosse clinic, so I have a couple of free
Yeah.
weekends now before the spring season starts, which I'm so fucking happy for. Um, and I got to play with my little brother's puppy, which is always fun, even if he's an absolute fucking psycho. Um, what else did I do? Oh yeah, and then I got sick, so really not all that exciting,
But
but
still, I mean,
yeah.
it's still a good weekend for sure.
Yeah, it was nice. And the cookout finally opened up here because when I was living in North Carolina, cookout was like my favorite place in the entire world. It's everyone's favorite place in the entire world. That's not true. That's an exaggeration. Um, but like we don't have one up here near the government, and so they finally opened one up here up by us. And so I drove out there the other day, and I shit you not, the drive-through line wrapped around the building twice. Like that's how many people
That is
wanted to like
insane.
go. It was insane. It was like that all day. And so I went like the next day at like an off time, you know what I mean? Like between lunch and dinner where it's people have probably already eaten.
Never been to Waffle
Um,
House either.
oh dude, I fucking love Waffle House. I used to make in college I went to Waffle House for my birthday every year. Like it was mandatory. We were not I was not fucking around. Oh, Waffle House is the best. Um, so yeah, so I did finally get my cookout this weekend too. So all in all, it was a good weekend. It was
There
very
you
nice.
go.
Yeah.
Take it,
Finn, I'm
man.
so sorry for you that you never got Cookout or Waffle House when you were down
Got
south.
stomach kicked in the stomach yesterday by your horse.
Was it by a horse?
I mean,
Oof,
that's kind of
that
the only
sounds rough.
acceptable answer to that
Yeah.
question.
Anyone else, I'm throwing hands. You know what I
Right?
mean?
Well, sure.
Yeah.
Not my horse,
Oh, a
separate.
horse you were
Yeah.
moving. Well, I figured your horse would be a lot nicer to you.
Oh, one would hope.
Yeah.
Yeah. Of course, with the steel shoes too.
Oh, that sounds painful.
Yeah.
All right. Well, why don't we go ahead and jump into some Am I the Assholes?
Yes, please.
Does that sound like fun? Okay. I'll go first. She gets scared as she
Oh.
slid down the hill and it was just a mass of airs. Oh, I'm sorry.
Ouchies. Big
That sounds
ouchies.
awful. I'd be taking a nap for like a week if that were me. But I also have never been kicked by a horse before, so I don't know how that recovery usually goes. All right. Am I the asshole for excluding my stepmom from helping plan my wedding? That's the title, which sounds
Yeah.
dramatic. Um, my stepmom has been married to my dad since I was 7. She was the other woman in my parents' marriage, and she was also supposed to be my mom's best friend. Wow.
Supposed to love it.
This is starting like, whew, all right. I didn't know her very well pre-affair reveal, which is just an interesting statement. Um, she lived in another city, and apparently most of my life and all of my sister's life, she and our dad had been sleeping together. This is not something I was aware of as a kid. My sister and I knew we didn't have parents who got along after the divorce. We could sense the tension. Once or twice we had an idea mom hated our stepmom, but she never said or did anything directly in front of us. That vibe was just there. It did not stop us, however, from loving our stepmom,
Okay.
which is interesting because you just talked about how she's a cheating cheater who cheats, but okay. We found out what
yeah.
happened when we were 17 and 19. We felt so bad for our mom, but our stepmom had always been good to us, and our dad was good to us, so we tried not to let it change things. After my fiance and I announced our engagement on social media, my stepmom wrote a post about how she dreamed of this day when I was born, how she had been so excited to watch her very first baby grow up and get married, how she and dad had talked about it before I could walk. Ugh. She tagged my
Mm.
dad, but she also tagged some friends who knew her back when they were also friends, who knew her back then and who were also friends with my mom. This post was distasteful and honestly was exposing that she had always planned to have the affair. It did change how I felt about her. I told her to take it down and apologize. She told me she did not regret the post, and why wasn't I happy she loved me that much? I accused her of trying to rub it in my mom's face that she had stabbed her in the back and won the love of my sister and me after betraying her with our dad, like she did. That's a weirdly worded sentence. I didn't fuck it up that bad, I promise. Um, she told me it was 20 years ago and mom should be over it. I decided not to include her in any wedding planning. She is a wedding planner as a profession, and I know
Oh,
she would want to, but I am not happy with her
I'm
post.
here
Mom was
for
so
it
happy
though.
when I told her, but my stepmom wanted to know when she'd been dress shopping with me and that I wanted her and what I wanted her help with. I told her I did not want her involved in any of my wedding planning. She and my dad are saying I'm overreacting and should not be treating her this way when she has been a damn good parent to me. So, am I the asshole?
Mm. No, you're not an asshole for that. A, it's your wedding. You can do
Right?
whatever the fuck you want. B,
Yeah.
stepmom is not mom, and I get that they were together long before whatever. But if you are not here for stepmom to be second mom,
Yep.
stepmom needs to get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
Uh,
Like that's weird to me.
yeah, very
Like,
weird.
especially the comment about like, and someone commented on it too. They said, that's creepy as fuck. Her firstborn. It's like she's been planning to try and take your mom's life from the beginning.
Yeah,
And so OP said, yeah, that's how it read to me also. It reads to me like she had planned the affair with my dad before anything had happened for real.
yeah,
Like, that's,
absolutely.
and I
And
don't
it sounds
understand how
like
the
she
dad
was
doesn't see it.
jealous. Yeah, it sounds like she was jealous flat out that
Yeah,
mom got pregnant, had another baby. Like it's all seems very
right.
planned in the sense of clearly stepmom was very much out here working on it
Yeah,
long before. So interesting.
right.
Interesting. Yeah.
Isn't that weird? So I don't think OP is the asshole at all. I would not be having like, I mean, I get it that you loved her and that she was great to you, but that
Right.
definitely is a step over the line to go on a Facebook post or whatever and say all that.
Right.
Like, come on, and then not like acknowledge that maybe you don't that as the daughter don't want all that messy laundry out in the open, because that people are going to see it and they're going to ask fucking questions. And now,
Yep.
as the bride, she's forced to be like, so what's the situation of this woman who's claiming to have loved you since before you were born? Like,
Mm-hmm.
that's fucking weird. And
Mm-hmm.
now you're going to get questions on it that I don't want to answer. So like for the stepmom to like not want to, or not be understanding that, not take it down, stepmom's definitely the asshole in many ways than one. Like,
Right.
come on now. But yeah, OP is not the asshole here. Very strange.
Right. All right. That makes me want to read this one. But I lost it. So we'll go with this one. Am I the asshole for discussing my husband's affair with colleague? My husband, male 38, and I, female 35, have been married for 9 years. Early in our marriage, he had an affair with a former friend of mine. It went on for about 4 months before I found out. Maybe. We broke up for a short while before I eventually took him back, and he promised me it would never happen again, etc., etc. Although I have forgiven him, it did leave a permanent mark on our marriage, and it is often the elephant in the room. Anyway, earlier this week, a colleague, 30s female, was telling me and another colleague, 30s female, that she had been she began suspecting her husband of cheating on her. Naturally, this led
Mm.
me to telling her about the affair my husband had had and how it had nearly um how it had nearly broken our marriage. My husband works for the same company and is head of his department. He actually helped me to get this job, and I've been with the company for 6 months. Today, my husband came home furious with me as someone told him that he had overheard the conversation and it has now spread around the office. He said I have jeopardized his position at the company after he had gotten me a good job. I told him I didn't do it out of spite, and it's not like I had made it up. I also reminded him of how much it damaged me at the time and that I've had to live with the image of him and my friend having a relationship behind my back. He has now
Mm.
gone to his mom's house and said that he needs some time away as he is so angry. I didn't do it on purpose and I apologize, but I think he is taking things too far. Am I the asshole?
Uh, Maybe I'm confused, but like he cheated on her. She should be able to talk about it with whomever.
Right.
You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
he cheated on her years ago, it sounds like. Um,
Right, which I totally get. Like, there comes a point where it's like, we've moved on for this. You can't keep holding it over my head. But in
right,
this situation, it sounds to me like OP had a work friend who was going through a situation, and so she shared that story, like, because of the need to connect with a work friend. You know what I mean? It's not like she's going around being
right,
like, my husband is a cheating son of a bitch, and I'm gonna chop his dick. Like, that's not, to me, that's not what happened here. So I
right.
don't know why the husband is so upset. Am I missing something?
No, I think like he's probably embarrassed about it,
That's
because
fair.
it was so long ago, and he feels like it's now threatening his position in the company, which is something that happened in his personal time before he worked there.
Right.
Um,
I don't see how that would, but
yeah, I mean, was it in poor taste of her to bring it up like that? Yes. On the flip side, you fucking cheated on her, man, and, you know.
yeah. So Dave's saying it does, and I can see, so some companies do have like a morality clause type of a
Right,
situation where if you are doing something that is,
right, but this
um,
was before he ever worked there, so then I don't think that they can use that.
yeah,
I don't think. Maybe they can,
I
though.
don't
I
think,
mean,
but either way, it's not like she went around and like emailed the CEO and was like, hey,
right,
by the
yeah,
way, my husband's a cheater. Like that's
right,
not,
and she, sounded like it was probably a conversation of, um, trying to help this colleague figure out if her husband is actually cheating, of
right.
like, "Hey, I went through this situation, um, you know, I thought it was more like he was currently cheating, not that they had worked it all through. Um,
Yeah.
Potentially.
Yeah, Dave, I see what you're saying about like there might be damage
Yeah.
control, but to be honest with you, I've worked in several different industries and a lot of them do not give a fuck unless
Yeah.
you are like a higher up in the company and you did it, especially if you did it with an employee. But if you were doing something with like a competitor, they'd give a shit. But if you're just
Right.
stepping out on your wife and you're an everyday Joe at the lower
Right. Yeah.
level, they do not fucking care
Well, and he is the
whatsoever.
head
It
of a
really just
department
depends on the
and
industry.
yeah, I mean, as long as and I could be wrong that maybe he was working there, maybe it was with a former coworker, then that definitely
That
causes
would
more
be,
issues,
yeah,
but working on the assumption that this was all outside of this company, I don't think it would necessarily affect him as much as he's thinking it will,
yeah,
but you maybe never know, Um,
yeah,
but yeah, the cases where they're, cheating with a coworker, in whatever realm is
right.
always going to be a bigger deal.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah, I don't think that OP is an asshole for that. Just sharing experience. If you don't want people talking about the dirty shit you did, don't do dirty shit.
right. Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
that's how that works.
Very much
But
so.
all right, ready for the next one?
Yeah.
Am I the asshole for telling my sister-in-law her kids are going to hate their names?
I saw this one too.
This one's really funny. Okay.
Okay.
I, 27 female, and my sister-in-law, 34 female, has 4 kids and a baby on the way. I don't know why it started like that. I think they just got confused by the whole like I and, um
Yeah. No, I get
okay,
that.
Dave,
I
that's
get that.
totally different because that's a rumor
Yeah.
that you slept with a coworker, in which case that does
Yeah.
impact work. If this is just he had an extramarital affair with some
Right.
bitch from Wendy's, nobody gives a shit and it's not going to
Right.
push him out of the job
Yeah.
place.
But no, I
But yours
definitely
is
see what you're
unfortunate
saying.
because it was a
Yeah.
coworker situation.
Yeah.
Um,
Absolutely.
all right, so OP is 27 female, her sister-in-law 34 female, has 4 kids and a baby on the way. She is the definition of a crunchy mom, and that's in like quotation marks, which I think is
Yeah.
hilarious. A crunchy mom. Her family is vegan with no electronics in the house, has all natural toys and clothes for the kids, homeschooling, etc. First of all, I cannot imagine. I'm not a parent. I have tons of friends with kids. I cannot imagine being a parent in today's day and age with no technology. I just
Right.
can't fucking do it.
Not a
Like,
fucking chance.
and I also think that like if you're a parent who's vegan and you force your kids to be vegan and follow your specific diet, that I think that's fucked up. Like I already have a dislike
Right.
for you because you shouldn't be dictating what other people eat just because you don't want to eat those things. I get it, it's a morality thing for you, but that's
Yeah.
you don't get the right to take that choice away from everybody else. That's me on
Right.
my soapbox. I'll get off now. Anyway, she wanted her kids to have unique names and not basic names. All of her kids have ridiculous names, and I'm going to spell these out for you and then tell you how that's supposed to
I'm
be pronounced because they're
so
insane.
here for it. I'm here for
So
this.
the
Okay.
first one is Barylleen. This is a
Braylon.
4-year-old female, pronounced Bryalin. The pronunciation is spelled Brylalin. Bryalin, which,
Hell.
like, I guess you wanted a built-in country accent in there. I don't know what's happening.
Right. Who
The next
knows?
one is Falkin, pronounced Falcon. That one's the most normal, but it's still like, why are you making shit weird? This is a
Right.
3-year-old male. The next one is Rorai, 3-year-old female, pronounced Rory. Again, that one is more sensical, but why is it Rai? That's not a re sound. That's
Right.
Rye or Ray.
Yeah.
Anyway, and the
Raylan.
last one is the one that breaks my brain the most. Kelvin, pronounced Calvin. It's Kelvin,
No.
but they pronounce it Calvin. You're setting these kids up to
No.
have a fucking life that's difficult. They're never gonna
Yeah.
get called the right thing by a teacher.
Yeah.
Anyway, we'll get to my thoughts here in a second. All right, so my sister-in-law asked my opinion on what my opinion was on her naming her next baby either Astra, Inky, or Lore. um, Inky.
No. Inky? Inky.
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 Inky. INKY. Inky. She also went on a rant about how my husband and I's baby is going to have a basic name and not be memorable. I'm 6 months pregnant, and my husband and I plan to name our son James. I told her
Oh,
she was naming kids, not dogs, and that her kids are going to hate their names once they get older. She
yeah.
got really mad and began screaming at me that I was rude and that kids' names are more than just a name. She stormed out of my house after this. All day I've been getting
Good.
calls from my mother-in-law and brother-in-law about how I'm being evil and rude and need to apologize to her. My
No.
husband agrees with me that someone needed to tell her that she's giving these kids ridiculous names. I
Yes.
feel bad, like maybe I should apologize.
No.
It wasn't really my place to say anything, but I'm so sick of her mom shaming me.
Yeah. Hey, you shouldn't mom shame anybody.
Right,
Unless it's very warranted. And in that case, I'm gonna
right.
mom shame this woman. The fuck are you doing there, bitch? Like, come on.
Come on. You want to name your kid fucking Inky? I don't care if you
Inky,
pronounce it differently. They're going to get fucking beat up in school.
right?
Inky.
Um, and, if it was a nickname, fine, cute. They could walk around and go, "You made me ink," whatever. I'd still
Right.
punch the kid in the face, but literally,
Not literally. Yeah, I get
I
it.
would want
I get
to,
it.
but I won't.
Right.
But you'll remember when like the worst was when Gwyneth Paltrow named her daughter Apple.
Mhm.
Can we go back to those days where like that's the worst name? So
Right?
my ex-sister-in-law would tell this story all the time when we get on this topic, but I have to tell it because it's fucking chef's kiss. So she and her mom, now mind you, they went to an all-girls Catholic school,
Right.
but they were in like town at whatever the store was where they'd get their hoodies and stuff lettered with their names and whatever for whatever sport. And at the front of the line, there's this mom arguing with the shopkeeper, cashier, whomever, because the shopkeep was like, "We're not putting that name on the back of this sweatshirt." This mom was so livid that they wouldn't even consider it. Blah blah blah. Well, they finally get up closer, and the girl's name was Shatea, literally spelled shithead,
Yeah.
but pronounced Shatea. So yeah, they like aren't gonna put that on a fucking sweatshirt. What are you talking about?
I mean, I would. I think
I
that's
would, but
amazing.
yeah, they can. It's a high school thing, you
Right.
know.
Yeah.
But every time we talk about stories like this, I'm like, why do people think why?
And
Like,
again, like I'm like Falcon, Falkin. That one at least like phonetically you can get there. You can
right,
make that
and
jump. It's like you're making it different just to be different, but like I get it.
right,
But to pronounce Barry Lean as Bryolin,
yeah,
that no fucking sense. And to pronounce Kelvin as Calvin, like come on.
yeah,
Like you've already made these kids' lives incredibly hard by you do you. I'm all for homeschooling is not the worst way to go these days at all. But
mm-hmm,
you make sure that all of their clothes are like, all natural fabrics, so they don't get to wear the cool stuff that their friends are wearing. They
yep,
can't eat any of the foods that their friends are eating because they're on a vegan diet. They're
yeah,
homeschooled. They have names that make no fucking
right.
sense. They're
I
not
was
allowed
gonna say
electronics in
I
the
know
household.
somebody that named their son Talon, and that was he's the same age as Matt, like a little bit older. Wasn't that common back then, but I've definitely heard a
Yeah.
few others with Talon. Nova's not that,
Yeah.
unusual. Um,
There are definitely some like names now that are more like that are different from what
right,
names were when we were kids. You know what I mean? And I'm all for that. I think actually naming
right,
your kid Falcon, fucking go for it.
right.
Like
Absolutely.
absolutely do it. But don't name your kid Inky. I think
No.
Astra is pretty. That's the most normal. Um, Lore is kind of
More
interesting.
like it's interesting, but there's no need for it.
There's no need for it. Yeah. But also, my biggest thing with this story is that she literally asked, like, um, she asked what her opinion was on naming the next one Astra, Inky, or Lore. And so her response was, your kids are going to fucking hate those when they get
Right.
older.
Yeah.
Which,
Yeah.
to be fair, when I was a kid, first of all, I was obsessed with the TV show Hercules and Xena, Warrior Princess.
Hmm.
Both of those shows I fucked with heavy. So when I was little, I told my parents that when I had a kid, I wanted to name my first kid Aeolus because I really liked that character from the TV show. And my
Hmm.
parents looked at me and they were like, absolutely not. They're like, do you know A, how to even spell that name? I was like, I can look it up. And they're like, second of all, how hard is it going to be for other people to say who don't know who the fuck Aeolus is?
Hmm.
Because there's I's and O's and E's and U's and S's. Like it's a long name. So
Right.
they were like, you're going to be putting something on your kid that like they're going to hate. And they're like, remember how you used to feel about your name? Because my name, I have a capital A in Deanna.
Yep.
And I hated it because no one can ever pronounce it because they
Yep.
think that it's, like some weird ass name.
Right.
And so for a long time I hated it until like I got older and yada yada and I got over it. But I don't even have that weird of a name. Like it's
Yeah.
really not that
Like
abnormal. I've
my
met several
grandma's
other
is
Deannas.
Levon with the capital V, so I definitely
Yeah.
understand that. And her middle name is Des Moines, which being that
I
she's
like that.
Canadian always made me laugh because there's Des Moines,
Yeah.
Iowa. Um,
Right.
but she hated that too, but that she actually gets called D a lot because, short for Des
Yeah.
Moines. But um Because actually, when we were digging through stuff, Matt found a tackle box that said D on it. And he initially thought of you. He's like, why does
I
this
love
say,
it.
why is D's tackle box here? And I'm like, Grandma
I'm gonna have
D.
to like mail a tackle box to your house so that next time he asks a question, she'll be like, "Oh, she just wanted me to like
She
review
just
some
wanted me to
stuff."
have it. Right.
Yeah,
Right. Oh, yeah. No, and I know that because that's where it came from, like that's
right,
what made them think of it. But for the fact that they landed in Minnesota and Des Moines is 5 hours from here, less than that, I
right.
think. It just makes me
That's
giggle
funny.
on the inside.
Yeah, but like, don't name your kids weird shit. If
Yeah.
you do,
Yeah.
have like a good backup. You know what I mean?
Or
Have a good way to shorten it, or a really
right,
good middle
or
name that they can
really
pick to
good middle
go
name
by.
that they can pick.
Yeah. Don't
Yeah,
name your kid like hydrant extinguisher. Like, you know what I mean? Pick
unless you're a
at least one
firefighter.
normal fucking name.
Right.
You know what I mean? I
Yeah.
don't know.
Yeah. No,
Anyway,
I
I saw
totally
that
get it.
one and died laughing when I looked at the names and like how it's
Yeah. I just
pronounced.
saw that she's the
Um,
epitome of a crunchy mom, and I was like, oh, this is too funny.
right? Yeah, I
Yeah,
mean, my name is somewhat common. It's not super common. Like, it's not, you don't meet a ton of Deannas, especially the way I spell it. But my name is actually a like conjugation of two names. That's why
it
I
is the
had
river,
the A
river,
capitalized.
river, river, Eva, Eva.
That's funny. The river. All right, next one.
I don't know why that just tickles me. River, river, forever, ever. Ah, that's cute though.
Yeah, Ailey's a pretty name.
Yeah, very name. Very name. Very
Very name.
Jesus Jones.
Very
Okay,
name.
so am I the asshole for telling my stepdaughter she's lucky I treat her as my own?
Ooh.
And on that alone,
I
I have
mean,
feelings, but
yeah, on that alone, I'm going asshole.
uh-huh. Yeah, uh-huh. Yep.
But like, I'll reserve judgment. I've been wrong before.
Right. I, 44 female, have 2 children with my husband, 2-year-old boy and 3-year-old girl, and a bonus daughter, 18-year-old female, Emily. My stepdaughter has been living with us for 6 months this past year. She moved in as she told us her mother kicked her out since they don't have a good relationship, and her mother said she was too problematic. Since her moving in, I've been very welcoming and I've spent more than enough money to help Emily get on her feet. This includes work shoes, comforter sets for her bed, hair products, clothing, and underwear. We told her that she could live here as long as she needed, but since her moving here, she's become a burden to both my children and I. My children and I are used to a regimen of waking up, spending time with my husband, him dropping them off at daycare as he goes off to work, and when he gets home, I cook, clean, and we spend the rest of our night with the kids. My stepdaughter has become a burden. She has become entitled, and whenever she needs anything financially, she will ask either myself or my husband. When I bought her her work uniform, she kept the job for 3 weeks and then quit because she didn't like her coworkers. She has taken most of my savings, taken the time from my children to my husband, and used that time for herself.
Wow.
Okay. And has been very extremely appreciative for what I've done for her. I told her she needed to figure out a living plan because she is 18 and a legal adult and she needs to start adulting. She mentioned how she was in school online, and I told her that wasn't enough since there are more hours in the day and she can do more than just be lazy all day and use her computer as an excuse. She told me that I'm jealous of her relationship with my husband, and I reminded her that she is living in our home rent-free. I told her that she should be lucky that I treat her as my own because not everyone would do such with their stepchild. Editing for info, my husband thinks I'm wrong for saying this to her and that what I did was harsh, but I don't see how when she is 18 years old and she is grown.
Okay. At 18, yes, you are grown. However, you're pretty much always your parents' kid. You know what I mean? Like, my parents very annoyingly will be like, refer to me in ways that make it sound like I'm a child sometimes. I'm like, y'all remember that I'm an adult ass woman. And they're like, yeah, but you're always like our kid. You're always our baby,
Right. Right. My mom
which
says the
is
same thing.
100% like, oh, the way things go.
Right.
I don't think I've ever had the experience. Like my dad and I have a very close relationship. We do a lot of stuff together because he's my vice commissioner for the sports league I run.
Sure.
So we spend a fuckload of time together during the season because we have to do planning, we have to do all this stuff. I don't think my mom has ever been like, you're taking away time that my husband should be spending with me.
Yeah.
Like, because that makes it sound like it's something else. You know what I mean? Like the pure
Hmm.
languaging of that makes it seem like she's saying that the daughter is trying to step in as a wife in some kind of a way. So I think that's fucking weird to put on your 18-year-old stepkid. I think
Hmm.
it's also fucking weird to be like, just because you're in school doesn't mean you can sit around all day. I went to school
And sat around
and
all day.
yeah, like, I mean, to an extent, granted, I was on a physical campus because, well, it wasn't a thing.
Right.
Um, but like when I wasn't in class, you know what I was doing? I was sitting on my ass
Hmm.
because it is exhausting. It takes a lot of like
Yeah.
mental brain power to learn things all the fucking time.
Right.
I think it's like super
Absolutely.
unfair for her to be like, you need to like get a real job. I can totally understand setting boundaries in terms of spending. Like, hey, we don't have the finances for you to be doing this. You can't go to McDonald's every day. We're not going to pay for it.
Right.
Like,
Yep.
that's a 100% reasonable and fair expectation to set. But
Right.
when you came in with all the other stuff, it was like, whoa, I think you're jealous. I think there's something, you're feeling some type of way.
Yeah. And it's the you don't ever get to say to a step sibling or stepchild that you're treating them as if they're your own. That is
Right.
something reserved, in my opinion, for that child to say, "Oh, I'm really lucky she treats me like I'm her daughter," especially being that
Right.
I have a good relationship with my mom, whatever. But this bullshittery of you just slapping that title on there doesn't get to happen.
No.
Um, Now that being said, could you say, I hope she realize, like I hope that I treat her like I would anybody else or whatever. I think that that's
Right.
fine to say. Um, but yeah, it and the comments of course, like that one got locked because there were so many rule violations and stuff with comments and
Yeah.
whatnot. And you're definitely only getting half of the thing. But yeah, it doesn't. She gave
Right.
no like real signs of what the daughter was doing other than I've spent a lot of money on her. Well, you got her work shoes and she quit her job at
Right.
18. I remember, I hopped jobs around and,
Yeah.
quit for no damn good reason and whatever.
Right.
But at the same time, I also was a little, smarter about wanted to be, I guess, more like, oh yeah, I had a fight with somebody, like I don't want to work there anymore. And you have that freedom when you're that young
Yeah.
to
Right.
just say, I'm not gonna put up with this.
Right.
So
Absolutely.
for sure.
Mm. Yeah. I think
But yeah,
OP's the
bitch, like you
asshole.
don't get to say that.
No. And again, why bring like the whole he's spending so much time with her thing into it? That's just weird to me.
Right.
I don't
That
get
does make
that.
it sound like she's jealous. For sure.
Right?
Yeah.
That's weird. I don't like it. All right. Um, this one is a little lengthy. Um, but it'll be all right. It's lengthy because there's updates. Okay.
Oh nice. I like when they have
Am
updates.
I the asshole for telling my landlord about my roommate's boyfriend? Hi guys, this is my first post. I live in an females only apartment. One girl, let's call her G, has her own bathroom. Me and my other roommate L share a bathroom.
Okay.
The moment Elle moved in, she rearranged all of our stuff everywhere. I had this nice package of extra soft 4-layer toilet paper, and Elle started stealing the rolls from the bathroom and using them for her things because the only one she has is this one layer that you can see through, which is kind of disgusting, and I'm not surprised she likes mine so much. Fair.
Okay.
She was also using my face towel for her hands, and she was wiping the floor with it, even when I told her not to use it. So I just took all of my stuff, including the toilet paper, out from the bathroom. That day, she was crying to her boyfriend that I took the nice toilet paper away. Not
That's
gonna lie,
hilarious.
it kind of made me happy. So let's get to the
100%.
topic. Elle's boyfriend lives with her. He sleeps there, he takes showers in our bathroom, he eats here, and he's here every day. I don't mind him being in there. I don't care. I care about the water they use. Both of them take baths every day. She leaves the heater in the bathroom on and leaves the light on everywhere. This means that we have to pay more for these utilities. Our landlord told us that we would pay it at the end of our lease if we go over the limit, and I don't want to pay more. I live from salary to salary. I think they mean from paycheck to paycheck.
Yeah,
So I can't
that makes
afford it.
sense. Yeah,
I
big
told Elle
same
that
though.
this bothers me, but she didn't care. She said that it was my problem. Today I saw our landlord and I decided to tell her. I told our landlord that I don't want to get charged extra for utilities because Elle lives there with her boyfriend, and I don't mind him staying there. I just don't want to get charged extra. The landlord told me she will talk with her, and this will probably cause a shitstorm between me and Elle. So am I the asshole for telling my landlord about this? Now there's several updates. So first of all, I'd like to thank all of you kind strangers for your advice and words of encouragement. Also, the boyfriend is not on the lease, but he can't be since the whole part of the building with my apartments is female only. A lot of the girls who live here feel uneasy around guys, and that's why they choose to live here. If there was a different girl living with Elle, she might not even give Elle permission to have her boyfriend over any time because she
Right.
would feel uncomfortable with him being in her safe space. So
Yeah.
our landlord came to pay a visit to Elle. I wasn't home at the time, but G was. G told me that she met our landlord in front of our apartment and started chatting with her. Our landlord asked G about Elle, and G went a little apeshit because she is very neat and likes things where they are, but Elle leaves her shit everywhere and doesn't do her dishes right away and just leaves them in the sink. She doesn't clean after cooking, etc. I don't mind some of the things that she does, or more like doesn't do, but I just do until I want to use, for example, the only pan that we have and it's dirty in the sink. G also confronted Elle many times about this, but nothing changed. So the landlord peacefully listened to her and walked with her to our apartment. The landlord told G that there were some issues with Elle last year considering her and her boyfriend. G told her that, yeah, the guy lives here all the time and that she hears him come and leave every day. Elle uses this as her student accommodation every year, and I didn't know that. All of this happened
Right.
like 10 minutes after I left. Before I left, Elle was still home and didn't leave until before G came. Elle leaves the door to her apartment unlocked, and I and G lock it so we kind of know who leaves the apartment or who comes. And it was still locked when G came. I don't know why that's important. Elle and G heard the landlord talking and locked herself in her room. She pretended that she wasn't there when the landlord knocked on the door. The landlord just thanked G and left some package that came in the mail for Elle in front of her door. G is making something in the kitchen, and Elle opened the door from her room, just took the package and closed it again. She told me it was funny seeing the hand snap the package and close quickly. That's everything from now. Also, sorry for any grammatical mistakes. English is my second language.
Right. Well, I don't think that they're the asshole because roommate was
Right,
clearly breaking the rules, and if you're gonna live in an all-female dorm, then boyfriend doesn't
right.
get to be there all the damn time.
No,
Like that should never be a thing anyway.
right? Yeah,
Um, Interesting. I just don't understand people sometimes.
I don't either. It sounds like there's a lot more issues to it too, like with
Right.
her being very messy and all that kind of stuff and using other people's stuff as her
Right.
own.
Yeah, there
Um,
was a lot to unpack with it.
it
For
was.
sure.
So to me, it sounds like OP's not the asshole for telling the landlord. Like, if you're breaking the lease, the terms of the lease, uh, you're going to get called on it eventually. Someone is going to notice
Right.
how any other like neighbors haven't noticed that there's a man leaving that apartment every day.
Right. Oh yeah. Yeah.
Like, eventually it was going to come out. So
Maybe he just puts a wig on.
maybe. Maybe he like puts on his girlfriend's bra and stuffs it a little with some like socks and then
Right.
walks out the door.
Right. I mean, we don't know
But
his
yeah, I
setup,
don't think they're
but
an asshole at all.
no, and I understand the, wanting to have it taken care of. She tried talking to the roommate about it. Roommate didn't do anything.
Yeah.
She legit isn't even saying like I'm not comfortable with you ever having him over because sometimes they just flat out don't in those
Yeah.
situations they don't let you have anybody of the opposite sex in your room.
Right.
Um because I imagine it's like a dorm situation is what I'm picturing anyway. Um
Yeah, it's I mean, kind of confusing again. It's not English is an OP's first language, so there's a couple
Right.
of things that I was trying to
Right.
read through.
Sounds like Japan. It might be Japan or somewhere of the like.
Yeah. I know there
Uh,
are other places in the world that like you can find apartments that aren't specifically student housing, but you can get like a student housing voucher for. That would be like a, females only kind of a situation.
right.
So,
Yeah.
yeah, I don't think that OP's an asshole.
No, not at
Because
all.
again, the biggest issue too is that he's there all the goddamn time using the utilities and not paying for it. A friend of mine who lives in New York who had like roommates who are, on the lease and everything like that, their boyfriend started staying over the time and she was like, I have the same problem because, or this was years ago. She was like, I had a problem with her because like I fine, have your boyfriend over, but if he's over here this much, he needs to be put on the lease and he needs to be
Right.
paying rent
Yeah.
because it's not fair for him to be using the accommodations of our space
Yep.
without paying for it.
Yep.
Um, that's, that's how that works. It wasn't a,
Yeah.
again, it's New York, so it was definitely not women's only.
Right.
But it was
Right.
still the principle of the matter that someone who lives there is having someone else over to the extent that they're there almost every day. They're showering, they're using the
Right.
kitchen. You know what I mean? At that point, you're fucking living there and you need to pay some form of rent.
Right. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I don't think she's the asshole for this. This one I might not
No.
read today. That might make me cry.
Okay. That's fair. We don't want to do that just yet.
Right?
It's a
Not
little
not
early for
this.
the tears.
Right. Um.
Do you have another one that you wanted to
Yeah.
read? Okay.
Am I the asshole for leaving my baby shower early and quote causing a scene?
Ooh.
Throwaway account. My 32 female, husband of 7 years, 32 male, and I are pregnant. We've had one previous child and 6-year-old female, fake name, who has epilepsy. She's had one seizure before, relevant later in the story. To be honest, my mother-in-law is horrible. She gives backhanded compliments, insults me and my looks, and always tries to set my husband up with other people. Fuck. The last time
What?
we went to her place, she said she could make my husband a Tinder account or set him up with some girl who's the daughter of mother-in-law's best friend. My husband has told her to stop. He doesn't do anything else. Newsflash, she doesn't stop. When sending invites to my baby shower, I told my husband I did not want my mother-in-law there. He told me, since you're not letting my own mother be in the room with you when you are giving birth, you have to invite her to this. You should be grateful that you get a baby shower after all. Also, he wouldn't even be at the baby shower as he had something at work. The
Yeah.
baby shower, I was telling everyone how our baby was once again a girl. My mother-in-law then decided to say, wow, another girl. Let's hope she's not like her sister. I asked what she meant by that, and she said, I just need to find this woman to have a little conversation with her. She said, we don't need any other diseases in the family. Imagine seeing a newborn baby drop to the floor and shake everywhere. It's embarrassing. At first, I was honestly confused as she clearly had no idea what she was talking about. But then the pregnancy hormones really kicked in and I started crying hysterically. I left my friend's house
Yeah.
and my mother drove me home. Blame you.
If
Once
I
I
were that
got,
mother, I'd be doing a different activity than driving home. I'm gonna
right?
leave it at that.
Yeah. Once I got home, I saw my husband there. I didn't know why he was home and not at work, but I just couldn't stop crying. He said, where are all the gifts? You do realize how expensive some baby things can be. I honestly couldn't believe he said that. Of all things, I just decided to lock myself in our bedroom. But 10 minutes later, he tells me that he got a text from his mother explaining what happened. He told me that I caused a scene and should be happy
I
I got to meet up with some friends today.
I
I
caused a scene.
Yeah. I tried explaining how wrong
Throw
what
them
she
out.
said was and how she insulted our daughter and unborn baby. He said, well, Anne's epilepsy medication isn't cheap, so I see why she said what she said. Fuck you. No, it's not. Like, that doesn't at all. Okay. You just interpreted it wrong. Apologize to my mother. Yeah, I
The hell
normally
I
don't jump
will.
on the divorce train.
Oh, I'm
With
already there.
every
I'm fucking
oh
driving
yeah,
it.
right. You just
I'm the
interpreted
conductor of
it
this train
wrong.
right now.
Choo choo, motherfucker.
Choo choo,
Apologize to
motherfucker.
my mother. I packed a bag and called my mother to pick me up. I'm currently at her place and she is picking Anne up from school. My husband and his family keep blowing up my phone and calling me a drama queen along with other hateful names. So I need to ask, am I the asshole? And
Throw
then
them out.
edit. Wow, this blew up. I woke up to 700 new notifications. So thank you for all of your feedback.
Wow, that's a lot.
Just wanted to let you all know that I'm meeting up with my husband later today and we will discuss things. I will be showing him this post and your comments. Also, thank you for all the kind messages and awards too. However, I don't know what any of them do. Can someone please explain them to me? Thanks. See you soon. Yeah, the very top comment is, you are in an abusive relationship and you need to get the hell out of it immediately before it does irreparable damage to your children.
Yeah, that's fucked up. So many things wrong there. Let's set aside everything else that the mother-in-law is doing and just look solely at her saying, well, let's hope it doesn't turn out like her sister who wants to see a baby drop to the floor and shake like that. That is incredibly fucked up. It's ableist. It's shitty. It's like mean-spirited. There are so many negative words that I could use to describe that. Like and the fact that the husband was like, "Where are all the gifts?" That was a lot of money spent on you for that. Like, excuse you.
Fuck you. Well,
Like,
and it's
that's
like,
not the
obviously it was
point
over at her
here.
best friend's house. Like, the gifts are okay there, bud. Fuck
Right.
off. Like, your wife is not only pregnant and hormonal, but is upset
Right.
pregnant and hormonal. And
Yeah.
your mother is the one that did it to her.
Right.
But the
Like, and for them
whole,
to be like, "You're overreacting." First of all, you probably shouldn't tell women
I
that
don't,
they're overreacting in general, but definitely don't tell a pregnant woman she's overreacting. It does not do well when you invalidate someone's feelings.
well, in his whole, well, Anne's epilepsy medication isn't cheap, so I see why she said what she said. No, what she said was, we don't need any other diseases in the family. Imagine seeing a newborn baby drop to the floor and shake everywhere. It's embarrassing.
Yeah, that's not.
That has nothing to do with the expense that the medication gives.
Well, and
Nothing.
again, so what? Like, that happens to babies all the time. Kids are born with illnesses, with diseases, with you
Right.
name it. It's just a matter of life. And so we all, of course, want everyone to have happy, healthy babies,
Right. Of
right?
course.
But just because you have epilepsy doesn't mean that you can't be a happy, healthy baby.
Right.
It just
Right.
means that,
She
you might have to
thankfully
watch
has
out
had
for certain
one
other things.
seizure. One seizure so
Yeah.
far. In 6 years. That's awesome. I mean, all things considered, it could be much worse. It sounds like it's
Right.
well taken care of. But yeah, like Chris said, too, that's your fucking granddaughter.
Yeah.
How
Yeah,
dare
that's a
you?
great
How
way to get your
dare
ass
you?
kicked. Right? I would be, and again, if I were the mom that drove her home, I would be fucking throwing bows. You know what I mean? Like, she would not have left there. If she was wearing white, it would have been a red dress by the time she fucking left.
Yep.
That's so fucked up.
Yeah.
Ugh, that makes my blood boil.
Right?
All right, this one, are we ready to move on from that one?
Yes, please.
Okay. This one is a little bit lighter.
Okay.
It was a lot a bit lighter. All right, am I the asshole for lying about my pregnancy and making the other person feel bad? This is a throwaway and I'm typing it on mobile. There's no like information about age or anything. I don't think it's all that necessary for this story though. My
Okay.
weight has been a lifelong struggle. I've been on the unfortunate receiving end of being asked if I'm pregnant when I wasn't. It's very hurtful, and honestly, I think people should know better than to ever ask anyone that question. And not just because they
Mhm.
might insult a fat person, But anyway, I usually answer that question with nope, just a pizza baby. It's awkward and people have stammered and clearly felt embarrassed, but honestly, stupid games, stupid prizes, and all that. On to the story. A friend asked the question about 3 months ago. The thing is, this time I actually was pregnant, but I had found out literal days before. I was way too early to feel comfortable sharing that information. In all of my pregnancies, I shared with close family at around 8 weeks and then went fully public after the first trimester, which is like a usual rule of thumb for most people. They don't tell like the whole great wide world until the first trimester. So I ended up telling this person my standard pizza baby answer. They were super embarrassed and it was very awkward, but we moved on. Now I'm about 4 months along, and most people in my life know. The friend who asked must have put two and two together and realized that I was actually pregnant at the time and is now very upset with me, saying I lied to their face and in a way that embarrassed her. They told me some other mutual friends are split on this, though my husband is my side. So am I the asshole for saying that I wasn't pregnant when I was and making a friend feel bad for basically calling me fat? Thoughts?
Don't ever assume that anybody is pregnant ever.
Yeah.
Ever. First of all. I
Yeah.
definitely got hung up on that. Fuck
Right.
that shit.
Yeah, it's just not appropriate to ask somebody that question.
No.
I mean, I think like maybe
No.
if they are, quite
Unless it's
literally
somebody
a day
you
from
know
popping.
really well and it's like
Yeah.
bestie.
Well, like, so one of my good friends from high school, I was just at her Halloween party this in October. Her sister is like 8 months pregnant because she's due in December.
Right.
And so she is literally like popping. And I had known that she was pregnant, but I knew that she was pregnant in like May. And so I've
Right.
forgotten since May that she was pregnant. And so I saw her and I was like, holy shit, is she pregnant? Because again, it was something that like in the back of my mind, I knew for sure she was pregnant. There was no way that this woman who has been like a size 2 her whole life now had a big round baby sized thing. You know what I mean? Like it was
Right.
very clearly a baby. It was on a body that I've seen, prior to that date not being that size. You know what I mean? She's 8 months pregnant. All of those clues, like, okay, you can ask. And again, I already knew. But no, never ask other people if they're pregnant. And also, if someone tells you, oh no, just a pizza baby, which again, Chris, I agree with you, that's definitely creative in terms of a response. You can't get mad at them when you later find out that they actually were pregnant if it's because you were literally within a week of being like pregnant.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because at that point, you basically were just, there's no like
You may
massive
not have
life
even
inside
known at that
you.
point.
You're
Yeah.
just
You want a
fucking
pizza.
your weight.
Big same though.
I do want pizza. Yeah.
Like I remember being, out here with Matt in an elevator at a hospital, and this woman goes, "Are you pregnant?" And I looked her dead in the face. I was like, "No." I mean, because at that point there was no way I wasn't pregnant. Like,
Yeah.
I multiple times had people go, "Are you sure there aren't twins in there?" And I'm like, "Yeah,
Which is also super insulting to say to someone
it
as well.
is." The only person I accepted it from was my ex mother-in-law, because she was very, very, very convinced that when I actually had twins, and then it became that he ate one, and so that then it was just a funny thing because I have weird. Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. I wouldn't even if I knew I was pregnant that early on, I probably wouldn't confirm it unless you're like D or Chris or well, obviously Dave, or like my sister would be the only ones that would be like, yeah, but it's really early. We're not telling people, just in case.
But like even then, and Dave, I saw your comment about like if you care enough about their feelings to, then you should have been honest from the start. The thing is, as a woman, if she's not even telling her family until she's 8 weeks pregnant, then she's not telling people that aren't literal blood to her.
Right.
Like
And
that's just something as a woman, the possibility of a miscarriage is so traumatic, and it's something that you worry about constantly.
It's none of your fucking business. Honestly, if somebody's pregnant or not.
Yeah. It's none of your
Right.
business if they lie to you about it either.
Right.
Like,
I mean, and sometimes it's just that like super quick, quirky humor. You know, I mean, like I
right.
said, I definitely did it. Yes, babe, we are good enough friends for me to tell you if I am
Yeah.
pregnant. Yep, yeah. Um,
But again, in the post, she
there, you
said,
might want to
like,
also know
it
for
was
other
literal
reasons, but
days. She
right,
found out literal
right.
days before. So in
Uh,
another world, she didn't take the pregnancy test and she didn't know.
I
You know
have
what
to
I
say,
mean?
I re-looked
So,
up the article as you were reading it because I thought I missed something I wanted to. I think it's on the fence, Dave. Yeah, a little bit. But one of the comments is, "Don't ask a woman if she is pregnant, even if she is crowning. Is a good thing to stick to, unless you are her doctor." And
right.
then somebody goes, "Now I have to lie awake wondering whether a woman who is crowning is pregnant or not." And somebody goes, "I feel like it would be a rounding thing. If the baby is less than 50% out, you would round down, and yes, she's still pregnant. If the baby is 50% or more out, then she's not pregnant anymore." Somebody just goes, "Thank you for this comment."
Yeah, that's amazing.
Right? I'm like, 100%. And I just love that
Yeah,
unless you're pregnant.
exactly.
Um, I did alert so we get updates on the baby shower thing because man, I've
Right.
never. There had been one other story, and it involved Schrodinger's,
Oh my God.
something kind of like
Babe.
that.
Yeah.
Where and they, yeah, it was about. If I ever find the article, it was one that I heard in one of my narrations that I was like, please divorce, please divorce, please
Yeah.
divorce. Um. Okay,
Yeah, we should
so
definitely follow up on that one for future episodes
yes.
of our show. Yeah.
It is very true. It is very true. It's very much the baby version of is the glass half full or half empty?
Yeah.
But God, that made me laugh. It's a rounding thing.
It's a
Well,
rounding
how
thing.
far
Yeah.
out are they?
Yeah.
All right, so
But
this will
real
be
quick, there was one
yeah,
comment that the OP responded to,
yeah.
and she said, interestingly, some of my friends said that I was the asshole because nobody waits till 3 months these days, which maybe they're right. This is my fourth and probably last. I'm in my late 30s. When I was pregnant with my
Even
first
more
about
of a
15
reason
years
to
ago, it
wait.
was still standard that people waited because I'm just old fashioned. I don't know. So I will say, pretty much all of my friends have waited to tell the world until they're past the first trimester. A
Yeah,
few of them have told me
especially if you're
specifically,
right,
like, that they are pregnant. They're not ready to announce it yet, so keep it a big
right,
secret because they want to
right,
wait until after the first trimester,
right,
because that's when people, the second you announce it to any large group of people, they are planning like the bridal or the baby shower. They
right,
are, you know what I mean? They're doing all the stuff that then if you lose that baby, like that is really difficult
right,
for you
right,
and for them because now they have all these questions like, oh, well, what are we supposed to do with the gifts I bought for this baby that you're now not having? There's a
right.
whole bunch of awkward there to
Well,
land
and
on.
like with
So
this
I
being the
still think it's best
fourth
protocol.
child, there isn't going to be a baby shower in most circumstances,
Right.
Um the only time you really get one is if there's like my mom got one for my sister, but we're almost 10 years apart. Like,
Yeah, you wouldn't have any of that stuff anymore.
yeah, exactly.
Or maybe if you have a boy and then a girl kind of a
Right.
situation
Yeah.
because there's
Yeah.
gendered stuff. But
Different, relationships, different fathers, like whatever. Those are all
right.
certainly things that um make you want to maybe have one.
Yeah.
But
But she's also in her late 30s, which makes it a high risk pregnancy. So
higher
yeah, you're
risk,
definitely
yeah.
not fucking telling
I
people
might not tell
before
people
3 months.
until I'm more than halfway through the second trimester at that point,
Yeah.
Um, because you just don't know, especially if you're somebody that, certain testings may change your
Hmm.
feelings and whatever, and that's all I'm gonna say on that matter. If you know, you know. But
Yeah.
you definitely don't want to be putting yourself in a situation of more like there was another narration where somebody lost a baby and the mother-in-law put all of the blame on the wife, and it was
Ugh.
or her mother, one of somebody anyway, one of the moms in the situation put all of the blame on her. Why couldn't you keep the baby alive? And why couldn't you, do this? Nobody in our family has ever had a miscarriage. So what did you do wrong? And
Yeah.
that shit I don't stand for either. Like,
Right.
sometimes the body just
It can't. Yeah.
doesn't take it,
Yeah.
Like, yeah. Anyway. Oh,
Yeah.
that makes me so angry though. I mean, and it's a
Yeah.
lighthearted thing and it's a quippy, yeah, no, I'm not pregnant. What the fuck? Like, but especially there's
Right.
so many other things to layer underneath that for people that you just shouldn't make a big deal about it,
No. And for her, like the thing that annoys me the most is like, yeah, okay, so what? She lied to you. So what? She was
Yeah,
pregnant and you felt awkward. You've learned two lessons. One, never ask someone if they're pregnant because you
yeah,
shouldn't it's a social faux pas, never do it.
right.
And number two, you're now making a person who's pregnant in what is clinically known as a geriatric pregnancy
I
feel
hate that
bad,
way.
feel shame or embarrassment or whatever, feel guilt for your emotions,
Right.
which like don't be putting that on a pregnant woman
Yeah.
like at
It
all, but
just,
especially on one who has a higher risk
yeah,
of having like
right.
a miscarriage. You know what I
And
mean?
then just, yeah, don't
That's
be
the fucked up
upset
part.
with somebody if they say that they're not when they were,
Yeah.
unless it's like, okay, role playing this situation, right? If you had said that to me and
Yeah.
I would have been like, bitch, come on, you could have told me and I wasn't going to tell anybody, or like I would have been there.
Yeah.
Like, that would be more the conversation I would be having with you than being pissed. I would have been more like,
Yeah.
just please know if there's ever anything in the future, like you can come to me because, I got you, girl, like
Yeah. Same. Oh, if I
that's
found
the,
out that like I asked you and then months later found out that like I was correct, I'd be like, you bitch. You
yeah,
were pregnant the
yeah,
whole time. Like it
yeah,
would be joking, funny, haha. Like,
right,
but I wouldn't be actually mad at you for not telling
right,
me because again, I get
right,
it.
right. So it's just so much better to just not make any assumptions ever.
Yeah.
Anyway, my last one.
Yes.
Am I the asshole for refusing to rotate dish duty with my husband's best friend?
Huh?
Uh-huh.
I have
That's what I
questions.
said.
Okay.
To give a little context, my husband's best friend since second grade recently moved in with us till he gets on his feet. Let's call this best friend John. He doesn't have a job, so he doesn't contribute to rent or expenses or anything, which is fine because
Okay.
we knew what we were getting into.
Right.
I also recently became unemployed, so my husband is the only one bringing in money. I help
Mm.
out around the house as much as possible. This entails cleaning, taking out the trash, doing laundry, and cooking the meals for the three of us. The only responsibility that we expect of John is to clean the main bathroom once in a while and do the dishes. Additional
That's like
context
not very much.
yeah. I mean, that's like
That's like what
less
you have
than what I would
kids do.
expect of my teenager.
Yeah, exactly.
Additional
Okay.
context in case you were wondering, we're moving across the country in 2 months, which isn't enough
Oh,
time for me to warrant getting a permanent job where we live now. Makes sense.
fair. Yeah.
Well, last night my husband approached me saying that John would like to rotate dish duty between the three of us. I've
Nope.
already expressed to my husband that I don't expect him to do much of anything around the house, given that there are two unemployed people and that can take care of that. I told him that that's fine, but if we're going to rotate that chore, then we need to rotate the cooking between John and I as well. Because otherwise, it is unfair of them to ask me to do the dishes on top of everything else when John doesn't have any other
Correct.
responsibilities, which makes sense.
Yeah.
John doesn't know how to cook, which is why my husband explained that we can't rotate that. I had offered several times that if he ever wants to learn to cook, he can help me make dinner. He hasn't taken me up on the
Hmm.
offer even once. It seems like John is just trying to worm his way out of doing anything, and I don't think my husband can see it because of their friendship. Not to mention, I feel extraordinarily disrespected that my husband would even ask this of me because of how unfair it would be for me to do this
Yeah.
on top of everything else. I feel
Yeah.
like John is trying to take advantage of me, and my husband is going along with it. I hate living in my own home. Please help. Am I the asshole? And then edit. I saw a lot of people asking about what's going to happen when we move. And to answer that, he will be living with us for the next 3 years. Well,
3 years?
him and my husband are in school. Both of them will be receiving a housing allowance from school. So at that point, financially, he will be able to contribute. But yeah, 3 years is how long he is staying with us.
Okay. Yeah, they need to get this shit right. Like, get it fixed, get it together, because that's a long time for this to continue. I think I am not going to assign malice to John's behavior and say that like he's actively trying to like make her do more work. I'm honestly going to chalk it up to like just inherent sexism in the sense that a lot of men just expect that women will do more of the household work. And that's not like a generalization coming from nowhere. My experience in several relationships is that m- certain men are raised in a fundamental 1950s household where it's believed that the mom should be, if she's a stay-at-home mom, she should be doing all the cooking, all the cleaning, all the child rearing. And so they come to expect that too. Um, and so in a situation like that, then yeah, you would be like, well, why am I doing all the work? Because this is what I expect from a relationship.
Right.
Which I
Right.
think is incredibly sexist because it's not just a woman's duty to do the cleaning and everything. Even
Yeah.
if she is a stay-at-home mother, and it doesn't sound like there's kids involved in this one, but like even if she's a
Right.
stay-at-home spouse, that doesn't mean that all household responsibilities fall to her. That's still an incredible amount of work and an incredible amount of manual labor depending on the size of your home. And so it's an unfair assumption to make.
Right.
Even if the other person is the one bringing in money and they have their own work, there needs to be an actual division of labor created.
Right.
So I'm not going to say that John is doing it intentionally. I'm thinking that more than likely it's a product of how he was raised, that he thinks that women should be the one picking up the slack. Secondly, I'm going to say that's fucking stupid. If he is doing nothing other than cleaning a main bathroom and putting away the dishes, he doesn't need to rotate one of those out.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
you're fine, dude. You're absolutely fine. You can
Yep.
carry on your own. Your husband coming to you saying he wants to switch things up, but doesn't
Right.
want any of the other duties switched up. We need to reevaluate that because I'm
Right.
not taking on more work when we're both equally unemployed.
Right.
So,
Absolutely. Yeah. And I'm trying to find the original post. One got deleted because there was an article she wrote about, am I the asshole for um not bringing my husband's best friend cookies? So would have loved to have read that one too.
yeah,
Um
interesting.
People are saying, where is the art room going to be? Because there's that whole debacle, which I don't know if you know about, but I've heard it
No.
referenced more. Like I've never seen the actual article, but apparently there's a couple whose husband's best friend, when they were looking for a house, the husband made sure that there was room for his best friend to have an art room in their new house.
That's
And
funny.
it turned out that they were sleeping together.
Yeah,
So everybody's going,
amazing.
where's the art room going to be in your new house,
Yeah,
Sophie?
I mean, yeah,
Yeah. Which
I
is fine.
understand that she
Don't
can't get
fucking
a
lie. If you
permanent
want to sleep
job.
with your best friend, go sleep with your best friend. You don't have to
Yeah,
lie about it. Don't cheat
yeah.
on people. Fucking go do it.
Just be upfront. Like if you want to end a relationship, just fucking end it.
Right.
I'm someone who thinks that like if you want to end a relationship, unless you're in like a long distance situation, you need to do it in person,
Yeah.
right? Like I think you owe the other person, unless you're in a situation in which it would be
Where
a
it's
danger for you to do
dangerous.
it
Yeah.
in
Yep.
person. But if it's like you're breaking up just because you no longer think they're pretty, do it in person, give them the courtesy. If you're
Right.
not going to do that, send a fucking text, end it, then go about your merry way, fuck
Right.
half the town. I do not give a shit. But like end it before you do that.
Right.
It's not that fucking hard. It's
Right.
really not. But I was going to say, I totally get why she said that they're moving so she can't get a full-time job.
Oh,
Because
totally.
yeah, if you tell anyone like that you're not going to be like around in 2 months, they're not hiring you. They're not spending that money on onboarding you just for you to walk out the door in 2 months. The only time of year you can get away with that is like right now for the holidays because they only want you to work for 2 months.
Right.
But even then,
Right.
like,
Yeah, I mean, if it was a position where you could get something seasonally, that would be a different
right.
story. But yeah, I did that. I did that for 3.5 or 4 months before moving up here because it was an hour away that I was living, and I'm like, there's no
Yeah.
sense until I know for sure where I'm moving to. There was no sense in me because at
Right.
that point I didn't know I was coming here. Right. Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
there's that possibility too.
Right. Some
But
temp
and if they
services.
financially aren't any worse off by her taking that time
Right.
off, I could also see her taking the time to do the packing and, get stuff
Right.
organized for their new house and all of that. So,
Mm-hmm.
it's definitely one that you can, work with. I'm
Yeah.
mad because I just got the text that my meds are ready to be picked up
Oh,
6 hours later.
I hate that.
Which is
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, you're good. You're good. All right.
Mm.
Do we have one more? Or do we want to do
I
the
think
game?
we're good to move on because that was all
Okay.
of my well, I pulled like extra articles in case we
Right.
overlapped, but
Yeah.
I don't
Which
really
we,
want to
knock
read
on
any
wood,
of them.
haven't done in a couple of weeks. We've had it where, like, oh yeah, I saw that
I saw that
article
one.
and
Yeah.
skipped it. Yeah.
Right. Like I saw that title that looked interesting. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Um,
Exactly.
which maybe I guess that means we've gotten better about like determining what we think for sure the other person's gonna pull.
Right. Yeah.
So
Because
that's
that's
just
definitely
funny.
been a couple of times where I'm like, oh, I'll leave that one for D, and you end up picking
Yeah.
it, which is phenomenal when you do it.
Yeah, I've done that for you too, where I'm like, oh, I think Danger is really gonna like
Right.
that title's gonna grab her eye for
Right.
sure. Yeah.
All right.
Um, all right, Dave, Game Master, are you ready to tell us what the festivities are this afternoon, evening,
Uh,
whatever?
yeah,
Time
you
is a lie.
guys
Time is
are
a
going to
lie.
be playing
Time is a lie.
uh Quicksort.
Okay.
Um,
Ooh, burp.
It tastes good at least.
It tasted like Chipotle, so I guess yeah. That's what I had for
There's
lunch.
worse things it could have been.
After I went out and voted, I picked up Chipotle.
Our Chipotle in town sucks ball sacks. Like,
Really?
took me, I ordered it on the app and I went through, they have a drive through to pick up app
Oh,
orders.
that's nice.
And it still took an hour for me to get it. And then there was a hair in it. And I was like, no,
Oh,
I'm done. Like that. I'm
yeah,
done.
I'd never go back.
No.
Absolutely not. That's
And I was
insane.
so excited because that was where like the one Tim Hortons was
Yeah.
when they tried to invade us from Canada.
So I prefer Moe's over Chipotle, just as a
Had
general
that.
rule of thumb.
Yeah.
But every once in a while, I'll get Chipotle, especially when they have like deals where you can get the guac for free, and that's usually when I get
Yeah.
Chipotle
I love
because I
when
don't have
that
to pay
comes
extra
up
for
in
it.
my, and I used to like not like guac at all, but
Yeah,
their
same.
guac and then my dad makes guac. That's really fucking good.
Yeah.
And sometimes I have to add some like additional salt to it, but
Well,
I also never
I
liked
love salty
potato
shit.
salad until like my late 30s. I don't know, my hormones must be changing again or something because my
Yeah,
you go through it and you like I know with pregnancy you end up there's a lot of things you don't like or
right.
cravings and whatnot.
You know what I'm like secretly really terrified of? I've heard a ton of people who, after they got pregnant, became allergic to like shellfish. That's my worst
Oh,
fucking nightmare. Or dairy,
I
because
don't think I had that. My vision changed like
really,
drastically. And remember when I like lost my contacts and I had to wear
Switch
those
teams if you
glasses? So
want,
when I wore those
but do
in,
it quickly.
like those glasses that I got immediately, like well, pretty much immediately after I had Matt, they're stronger than what my vision needs now. Like
yeah.
that's why I get headaches. Sorry, Dave. You ready?
yeah.
Yeah, I'm
Okay.
putting the
So,
thing in now.
those of you watching along at home, go to jackbox.tv on your browser enabled device. It's going to be you versus the girls. We're going to be playing some Quicksort.
Do you want to be on team yay or nay? Danger.
Doesn't matter.
Also, just so you know, on the screen right now, we're seeing a Smosh video.
Yep, I know.
Okay, now it's changing. Okay. Sorry, yay or nay, Danger? I didn't hear you.
Sure. Nay.
Nay? Okay.
Yeah.
So then chat, you get to be Team Yay if you decide that you want to join. The code is there in the chat for you.
You put it in the, okay.
Oh, I didn't actually. My brain said do that, and then my body didn't.
Big feels.
Yeah. But yeah, I've known several people that have gotten shellfish allergies, and I'm a bitch that loves shrimp. So if I could suddenly not eat shrimp or crabs,
Yeah.
look, Maryland blue crab, so fucking good. Ugh, I die.
Oh,
If I suddenly became
we
allergic to that or
legit,
cheese, I'd be so upset. I'd be so upset.
legit need to like find my way out there and we can.
Girl, oh yes, we'll have
And
to
I
have
just saw
like
this
a
recipe
crab party.
for crab legs where like you cook
Mm,
them, you cut them halfway open, so you cook them like in half the shell,
yeah.
and it looks really fucking easy. And now I'm like, I even sent it to my grandma. I'm like, hey, look, this looks so good. Because we've talked about for like
Right.
New Year's and stuff getting like crab legs. That's when they're always more expensive at Costco.
Yeah. True.
And that's just where we would get them around here, you know,
Yeah.
right now.
That's fair.
Anybody want to join the room and play against us? Otherwise, we will have to
Yeah,
play
please
against
do.
each other, which never goes very well because we have the same brain.
Although with this one, it's gonna be so hard because it'll just be us talking to ourselves, being like, "Where does it go? I don't know."
Right.
Having an internal battle out loud.
Right.
Dude, I've been fucking up all of my words today.
We won't
Again,
let
I
you
had
play.
to lead 2
Throw
trainings.
your phone out the window. Tell him he's a bitch.
Yeah.
Well,
Borrow your niece's iPad.
yeah, that too. Do we want to do a round against each other and then maybe Chris can figure it out and
Well, and whoever else is in chat, yeah, that sounds good.
Okay. Yeah, let's do that.
Okay.
And then we'll see where we're at.
Welcome to Quicksort.
You do kind of need your
Let
phone
the
just a little
sorting
bit.
begin.
Well, threaten it. Sometimes I've threatened to throw my computer out the window and
It's
good
round
to be
1.
here.
And it
You
behaves.
should do well here.
That's fair.
We'll tell her to
attached to
play
it?
with us
Fair.
too. You two can
Yeah.
be on a team.
It's all up to you.
Oh,
Okay.
that might
You
be some
can
nice
choose
bonding.
the range on the left, or take a chance on
We
a
guess the
mystery
strongest
prompt.
pop culture.
This is a vote, people. Check your device.
Oof, I don't know.
I'm gonna go
Yay, the
mystery just for the fun of it.
prompt. I'm so
Okay.
excited. Let's take a shot at Roman numerals.
Better you than me.
From
Oh,
1
fuck me.
to
Roman numerals.
1000.
I feel like I'd
Sideways.
maybe do okay at this, but
Yeah,
then
it
again, I
depends on
say
how
that and then I'm
far up we get.
yeah.
The first one's always so difficult. There.
I mean, I can tell you what that one is if that helps.
9, right?
Yeah.
D. The fuck is D? I feel like that's gonna be way up here.
You know, I just realized that when I think of Roman numerals, I think in Super Bowl years.
Yeah, that too.
And I don't think we've done a D yet.
No, these can be included in years.
Well, right, but I think it's high up that we.
Oh, no.
L is you.
No, we've cycled through many years that could use a D, but it's one that's not commonly used that's optional.
Easiest way to remember is the Super Bowl. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
hey, if it works, it works. Work smarter, not harder.
None of those mean anything to me. Can you tell?
C is 100, L is
Yeah.
50.
Oh.
I'm pretty sure D is 500.
D is for these nuts.
These
I is
nuts.
1.
Yeah, that's 1.
Oh, that's 1, not I.
No, that is an I. which
XXX
means 1.
Tentacion.
Not where my brain went. I'm an idiot.
You've sorted them all. Let's see your score.
I mean, alright. honestly, not as bad as I thought I was gonna do.
D
I
does
mean,
mean
yeah,
500.
you did pretty
I
well.
remember
Sort
right.
of a good sort.
Hey,
Yeah, I would not have
hey
remembered
Z.
that. Good to see you, Zach.
Okay, next team. Knock them dead. Pick
All right,
your
now it's my
prompt.
turn. Fuck.
Vote for the prompt you'd like to
All
play
right,
on your device.
little towel to
What's
big
that?
towel. What the fuck does that even mean? So now I kind of want to pick that one and not do mystery prompt because mystery prompt seemed fun when you did it. But now I want to know what they mean by little towel to big towel. And the category is quirky.
Yeah, I think you should pick the towels.
I think I should do that one.
Wow, great choice.
I'm gonna fail at it,
Let's
but you know,
dive
failing is fun
into
That would
sometimes.
be funny.
Towel sizes.
Yeah.
Fuck 'em, it's
From
sweaters, pretty much.
little towel to big
All right.
towel.
Towel
Kind of like a
sizes.
tea towel,
Yeah.
face
All right. Why
towel.
can't
Okay.
I face towel? Oh, that's a little towel. We're gonna put that there. Slam. Okay. What's next? Beach towel. That's a bigger towel. Typically.
Anybody else use beach towels like to get out the shower?
Oh hell yeah. A bath sheet. Now that is actually bigger than a beach towel.
I do agree. Bath
If
sheets
it's
are
a bath
fucking
towel,
bomb. Right.
bath sheets are the fucking bomb.
Speaking of,
Bath towel. There we go.
I'm kind of upset you got this one because I feel like
I love it though. I did not expect it to be this easy. A
Fingertip
fingertip
towel.
towel? Jesus fuck. Are we at a fancy restaurant?
I was gonna say, is that like what the fancy restaurants?
Yeah,
do?
to clean the
Yeah,
butter off
must
your
be.
hands when you're done eating your lobster, and you rinse your fingers in the little.
A golf
dip.
towel is
Ooh, golf
bigger
towel.
than a face towel. That I do know. I worked at a golf course.
There you
one
go.
summer. Oh, it was awful. Those people are awful. Oh, hand towel is smaller than a golf towel. That doesn't really line up very well though. Bath mat
Is that a towel?
is smaller. It's not a towel. That's
It's not a towel.
Oh,
Oh,
I
but
shouldn't have
then
put it on the
there's the
thing.
sides.
Whatever.
Or maybe this one doesn't have the sides. Does it have
this
the
one. I don't think
throwaway
you can
sides?
trash it yet. A moist towelette is bigger than a fingertip towel.
Is it? I'm thinking
Yeah.
about the
Block
little
dropping
things you get in the
Let's inspect
pouches.
your work.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
they fold out
open
pretty
up, they're
big.
almost the size of a hand towel.
Yeah. Yeah.
I suppose they are bigger than like the. I love that they had the measurements there.
Yeah. Okay, so I only fucked up a little bit.
Yeah,
little
not
bit.
bad.
Okay.
A beach towel is bigger than a bath sheet.
That's
I thought it was the
bullshit.
other way
Yeah,
around.
because a traditional beach towel is
You
the
did
size of
your
a fleece
best.
blanket.
Okay, that's not the
Modern
beach
beach-
towel. These
Oh,
the
Yeah,
yeah,
modern
those
beach
aren't the
towels
beach
are
towels that
smaller,
I think
but
of.
the traditional beach towel
Yeah.
size is like 50 inches by 70
Man.
They
inches.
should have specified that it was traditional.
I'm operating off of like the shit you buy
Time to
in
pick
like
a
the
prompt.
boardwalk shops. You know what I mean?
Right.
And at
Yeah.
like Target.
Not so deep, very
Which
deep.
I love Target. I'm sorry? Not so deep, very deep. Ooh, I think
But it's science.
Vagina.
I don't think vagina's gonna be on there, Dave.
No. It should be
Mystery. I'm doing
celebrity.
mystery.
And then it just gives you a list of celebrities, and you have to determine
my
how deep their
God.
assholes
Let's
are.
take a crack at.
No.
I don't
Here's
know.
setting of
No.
We've talked a lot about
historical
asses the last
From-
couple of days.
Oh
Um,
God.
To
In Zach's stream last
setting.
night, there was some very interesting
And if you see
conversations
something
being had.
that just doesn't
Which
toss it
always
in the
leaves me
trash.
with more questions
There
than I
are
have
trash
answers.
box that are freebies,
Like
and
the purpose
some
of having
that
a
are
dick that
tricky.
shits and a
Just a
dick that
heads
pisses. You had to watch it. You had to be there.
Wait,
Or maybe you didn't. I don't know.
Oh, this
were you
is not
talking
going to
about
go well.
the dick
for me.
that poops? Or
Yeah, the
This
dick
is
that
not going
shits
to
and the
go
dick
well
that
for me,
pisses.
guys. I don't fucking know this movie.
I'm sorry. What is this? Earliest setting, latest setting.
Historical
Of what?
films. Sherlock Gnomes.
Oh. First of all,
you have
that
trash
sounds like a
danger.
great movie, and I want to see that.
Oh, I do have trash.
You know,
now, don't I?
Viking,
Fuck.
I should have made a
Apollo
disclaimer.
13.
You're right. Everybody, cover your virgin ears if you don't want to hear about wild ass shit. From another streamer's channel.
Kings of New York.
But it was a
is
great time. I had a lot of fun.
1800s.
Also, I'm gonna talk the entire time Danger is doing this. I'm gonna distract her so that I can win from behind.
Look, we don't
Love
get to
you too,
talk about
bestie.
butts, and then you say you want to do it from behind.
That actually was the first one that actually. Oh, fuck me. Seriously?
I was gonna say something, but it would only make matters worse. So I'm gonna keep my mouth shut for once. Okay.
Oh yeah, because usually you have that mouth wide open for whatever.
You know what, Dave? You, especially,
I want to redo.
can go eat fucking poo-poo caca, just for you, out of the shit
Sure.
and penis.
Out of the shit. Jesus.
Out of the shit and
I
penis.
don't fucking know. Oh, this doesn't. That's why.
That's gonna be my new insult to people. You can eat poo-poo caca out of the shit and penis. Nobody will know
Like
what
a
I'm talking
poop
about.
spatula.
Oh man, I need clinical
Hey,
help.
Fen, look, all I'm gonna say is, I'm pretty sure all of our ears are virgin, and if your ears aren't, there's a story there, and I'm interested.
That's some Family Guy shit, right?
Yeah. We can turn it into a
Beetlejuice,
made-for-TV
Beetlejuice.
movie.
It's not a historical movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
Beetlejuice is not a historic movie.
Yeah, it is.
We had this debate the other night.
Beetlejuice?
That's all the blocks.
Yeah, that's a
That's
true
not
story.
real, Dave.
That's a true
Dave,
story.
that's not real.
That's based on a true story.
Okay, wait.
Who wrote it?
Your mom.
Nobody wrote it. It really happened.
These, I so fucked myself from the very beginning.
Oh man, is this the one where you get a second round though? I can't remember if that's this round or the next one.
That's the next one. I think.
Beetlejuice is historically accurate in terms of the costuming,
Alright,
maybe, but
pretty
it didn't.
good.
Y'all, those events didn't happen. I hate to be the bubble burster for you, but shit.
I'm gonna tell you a secret. I
Second
know I've
shift.
seen
Up
Beetlejuice
to
like 4
sword.
times. I couldn't fucking tell you
Time
anything
to
that happens
pick.
in the movie other than Tim Curry's in it.
Okay.
By Tim Curry, I mean Michael Caine, and by Michael Caine, I mean Michael
Alright.
Keaton.
I was gonna say.
I think I should go mystery prompt this round. What do you think, Danger?
I think you should, as much as I want the other prompt, because I might be good at that one. But I think
but you
it
wanna
would be
help me.
fair for you to do a mystery prompt.
Good
Do you feel
choice.
like a big girl telling your
So,
big
let's
girl
sort.
lies?
Fashion
You know, yes, I
brands.
do.
From
I do feel like a big
oldest
girl telling my
brand
big girl lies.
to newest
Thank you
brand.
very much for asking.
I don't know how he's gonna do it this week.
Fashion brand? She
All
might
right.
do all right.
Oldest brand and newest brand. Ooh. Supreme, you're going in the middle.
This
'Cause I
could be
don't-
actually really fucking hard. Because some of them
This
have
could
been
be.
around longer.
Some of
than-
them I'll know. Chanel has been around for longer, but it's not going to be the first
It's
one.
hard, like the first couple are always super hard
I
to.
know.
The movies were hard. I
Chris,
fucked
you
myself.
know better than
Yeah.
that.
Alexander, it's Alexander McQueen. Thank you very much. Eat shit. Did it go in the trash? No,
Nope.
I wanted it to be in the trash can. Stella McCartney is before Supreme, but definitely after Chanel.
I love that. Do you feel like a big
And
girl
just so you
telling
know,
your
you
big
can
girl?
see
Your
on
lies?
your
big girl
device
lies.
where you're putting the blocks.
Dolce and Gabbana. Yeah,
Oh,
I know.
I
I
forgot
thought
to
it was in
feed
the
my
trash.
monster. That sounds weird.
Yeah, feed your monster. I'll feed your monster. Fenty is after
Is that a
Supreme.
promise?
Where's my clip button?
Baby. Yes. Fashion Nova. Oh, that's definitely after Fenty. Actually, no. We're gonna say
I
it's
know what
here.
Fenty is. I don't know what Fashion Nova is.
That's Rihanna's brand.
Oh. Friendly?
Friendly. I'm gonna say you garbage. Oh, hurry up. In the trash.
In the trees.
In the trash.
In the trash.
Where you belong.
Calvin Klein. Oh, that's
Calvin Klein. That's been around forever. This is all fucked up. I fucked up my timeline.
Big
Dior.
scene.
Dior is older than Chanel. I don't know if that's true.
I just remember
gonna find out
from
together.
10 Things I Hate About You. Frost yourselves. Hey, frost
Oh
yourselves.
yes. I do love that. That's a great movie.
I like one of
Lacoste.
the best.
It's Lacoste, but lacrosse is a great
Love it.
sport. Everyone should play
The
it.
blocks are locked. Did you come
All
out
right.
on top?
No, I didn't.
We went from
'cause my shit
fashion
got all
brands to
fucked up.
lacrosse. Love it.
Yeah.
Chanel is old.
Okay.
That's what I wondered.
And I did, to be fair, I did say that Chanel was older than Dior. y'all were here for it, but I just didn't place it properly. Okay, so
Hey, we got those ones right.
yeah.
There you
All
go,
right.
D.
I could have.
You
Thanks,
did
Hey.
Dave.
just
You've done
I
good.
should have known.
Danger's
that was
featured in
gonna
that one too.
Woo!
Am I?
ready.
Did
We
you
were
get
watching
my
all our
thirsty
clips the other
is that a
day.
promise?
I hope so because this
We were
is
watching
it.
all of our clips the other day,
You'll have
and
2 chances to
I was
get things
commenting on
right.
how I'm always the
Best
one
of
saying the
luck.
dumb shit, which is fair. I am always the one saying the dumb shit.
Mine just don't get clipped as much, I don't feel like.
Decision time.
That's true too.
Because
also say
you
dumb
make
shit.
sure when you say dumb shit, it's when somebody else is also talking, which makes it a bad clippable moment. D
Danger's
waits till
like-
everyone else is silent, which makes it perfect
no.
for clipping.
There.
No, I don't wait till other
Should I
people are
do
silent. I'm
dances
just
or mystery
stupid.
prompt? Help me.
Ooh. Dancing
All
would be
right.
hard. I'd go
Prompt
mystery
time.
prompt. Okay.
Let's
I
see
did
how
dance.
you
Do that.
handle dance crazes from oldest dance
Oh, fuck me. I
to
didn't know.
Supreme is too
newest
expensive
dance.
for me to give it love.
Yeah.
It costs too much money. All right, let me
Don't
feed my
forget to
monster.
feed your monster.
Yeah, I'm gonna feed it right now.
The
I'm gonna feed it so
renegade.
good.
The hee hee ho ho. What'd you call me?
I think that's a Christmas dance. I don't know that to be a fact, but I think it should be.
The Macarena.
Macarena.
I'm gonna put it right here. Your bug.
All right, now I unfortunately got distracted. I clicked on the wrong notification and went
Ah.
into someone else's channel. How can I get back to ours?
Way to fuck it all up. Just kidding. That's flaw.
Me?
Yeah.
Don't worry, I was already made fun of for being in someone else's Discord during stream, so fucking
Hustle.
already been dealt with.
Oh, that's
Again,
not
I
where I
am
wanted to put it.
Lidum. And the ADD is so bad today.
The vroom
Oh,
vroom.
God, it's so bad.
Vroom vroom, motherfucker. I don't feel like
Are you
that.
putting? Have you put any in the trash? I honestly haven't been paying attention.
I don't
Between
know.
getting this
I
right
honestly would believe that all of
feeding the
these are
monster.
correct. So I forget that the
All of
trash
them?
is also a thing. Yeah, the Charles stuff is gonna be down
Now I have the Macarena stuck in my head. Anybody else? Just me?
here. Macarena.
Okay, so this is definitely the round where you get to readjust it.
No.
The skippity scop, is that what that said?
Yeah, but I was trying to get
Everyone
into the
deserves
trash,
a
but I should have gone for
second
the other one.
chance. Here's
There's a point where
By
it's
the
like, yeah,
way,
you can't go
your
into the
correct
trash anymore.
answers stick together this time.
All right. The hustle and the twist you got
Woo!
right. Good for you. Good for you. Let's do the twist. I do like that song.
The vroom
Right?
vroom. Yeah,
It's
is
very
this
good.
even a thing?
I don't think so. I've never heard of the vroom vroom. I'm gonna say garbage.
Garbaggio.
Garbaggio.
The skippity hop. I don't think that that's one either.
I could see that one being one more than the vroom vroom. Mostly because that sounds dumber.
The Dougie. This is
The Dougie. I remember the Dougie.
You do the Dougie? Nah, not in Kentucky.
The Dougie was super popular when I was
The
in high school.
moonwalk. I feel like the moonwalk would be in here.
Yes. The Dougie is definitely way newer.
Yeah.
Like 2000.
The Charleston's gonna be down here.
Yep.
I remember
Okay.
the other ones that were older. There were a few. The floss is gonna be way up here.
Mm-hmm. Definitely newer than the Dougie.
Right. Yeah, we did the Dougie in high school, so
Yeah.
the jitterbug is gonna be. Well, I guess it's going there now.
Yeah. That'll work.
Macarena.
After the moonwalk, but before the Dougie.
Oh. This I actually don't think is a dance.
Yo. I mean, I want it to be one. We should invent that. Really? Renegade came after Floss, Chris? I don't know.
All
This
Right.
makes
right.
me think of the
What's your
Renegades of
score?
Oh, that's a good song, though. Great reference.
Right.
I fucks with it.
Hey, hey,
All right, look at you.
Hey! hey!
I mean, hey, I helped, so I
Hey!
think that
You
it's
did
only
help.
fair that I get some help.
Oh, Macarena was before the Dougie.
Yeah.
Really? I could have sworn we did the Dougie in high school.
The Macarena was like in the
Could have been
80s.
worse.
Right. But it
And
said
also,
the
Chris, you
Dougie
were wrong,
was
the Renegade came-
2010. That was I was already a mom by that point.
Yeah.
It was
Okay,
6
gang.
years after I
Pick a
graduated
prompt.
high school.
All right. I was
No,
yeah,
I'm talking
and then I
about the
reread
Dougie.
it. I guess I'm gonna go mystery prompt, or should I do
Yeah.
firstborn, lastborn?
It's up to you, but I would do mystery. I don't know where they're gonna go with.
Okay.
Time to solve
Yeah.
this mystery.
Yeah, that just said
Commencing with
2010s though.
Lady Gaga music videos.
2010 is the year I
From
graduated
oldest
high
video
school.
to newest video.
It's the year I got married.
All right. Sorry, what was the prompt? Lady Gaga music videos, motherfucker.
I was gonna
right,
say in like 2015 I
I
got
want
divorced.
your bad romance.
Romance.
All right, there's that one. Hail on Me. Is that even a fucking thing?
I don't know.
Uh-huh. We're gonna put it there. I don't
I
know.
love Bad
We'll find out.
Romance by Gaga though.
Applause is newer.
Yeah.
We'll put it there. Sure, why not?
Right.
Just dance. It'll be okay. Gotta do do. All right. Rain on Me. Is that a Gaga? Is that a Gaga? We'll put it there. Sure, why not? Shallow. Oh,
I love Shallow.
so good.
Right.
So fucking good. That came out after Applause. Bye.
I don't know.
Je ne sais pas. Je ne sais pas là. Thousand Reasons.
Let me go.
I'm gonna put it
Just
everywhere, and then
a
it's gonna tell me what's right and what's wrong. Maybe. It's not gonna tell me shit.
Oh, a million reasons.
Oh, maybe it's million reasons.
Yeah,
and not 1,000.
I have a million reasons to let you go.
Telefono.
It's weird. Like
was-
there's a lot of these like song names that I don't know, but I'm sure
I'm
I
not
know
a
the
huge
songs.
Gaga stan. Shallot.
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 God damn it! I tried to go for the trash can. I should have gone the other
You
way for
did.
the other trash can.
Yeah. Born This Way.
I
that
wish there was like a trash can
older.
button.
Yeah, that would be cool. Hit T or something for trash.
Yeah.
Let's
Okay,
see if
I
we
got
can
one streak.
rebound.
There you go.
Don't worry.
That was all I had.
Any streaks from your first try will remain intact.
All right. Final attempt. Born This Way and Applause. That one I'm putting kind of. Boop,
Mhm.
boop. We're gonna put it there. That seems good. We're gonna put it there. That I'm just assuming has to be newer because I don't know it.
Yeah.
It might not even be an actual Gaga song. So
Gaga.
Just Dance
Just Dance.
is.
Is that even
older.
a Gaga song though? Is
Yeah.
it? Okay.
I'm gonna say Hail on Me.
It's not.
Basura.
Because I think it's Rain on Me is the one.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Million Reasons. I'm gonna say we're gonna put that there. Sure. All right. 1,000 Reasons. Garbaggio. Ah, sorry. All right. Rain on Me.
I think it's before Million Reasons? I don't know.
Well, we'll find out.
It went there. It's fine.
I want your bad romance.
I feel like that was, yeah, one of like the first ones that really blew up for her.
Charlotte, in
Charlotte?
the sha-la-la-la.
Now I want to make a music video of Shallow, but it's for Charlotte.
Charlotte, yeah. In the shallow,
Sha-la-la-lot. In the
Oh,
sha-la-la-lot.
Telephone is before Bad Romance, but after Telephone. Or I mean after
That's all of them.
Just
Let's
Dance.
see how you stack up.
Yeah, well,
Fine,
look,
whatever.
it's kind of hard to judge these
Hey,
because it's
nobody
not
gave
really
you credit
great.
for that.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's
Okay, Telephone was after Bad Romance.
Rain on Me is new. Okay.
Okay.
All right. I mean,
right.
not awful.
Respectable.
Yeah.
Could have
not
been
awful.
worse.
Nice hustle,
I've
team.
done worse.
You still kicked my ass, so it's all right.
I don't think so.
I think you did.
I think you won.
Pretty sure you did. What the fuck?
I told you. You kicked my ass. 19,000 to 14,000.
You won. Your check is in
Dang
the
it.
Y'all
mail.
helped
is
me
the
with that
winner.
last round.
Yeah, a
Your
little bit.
check is in the mail.
Y'all tried
I
to help
expect
me.
hear
It just wasn't
for the hard one.
good. Yeah, it was hard. Maybe Chris should have been helping me more in the fucking
Right.
chat, since he loves him some Gaga.
That's fair.
Road. All right, well, what do you say we close this out with a little bit on our femme fatale?
I'm here for it.
Sounds good. All right. So this week, our femme fatale is none other than Whitney Elizabeth Houston, born in August of 1963, and then sadly passed in February of 2012. I picked Whitney Houston because I was reminded recently that she was actually a producer on a number of my favorite movies as a kid, including my favorite version of Cinderella, which is the Rodgers and Hammerstein version of Cinderella that Whoopi Goldberg plays the queen in. That
Mhm.
music is impeccable.
I
Like
did
it is
not know
so
she was
good.
involved in that, but that makes a lot
She
of
was,
sense.
right?
Yeah.
And it is so well done. It was so ahead of its time in terms of like having a diverse cast because that came out in like, well, we'll get into it. All right. So she was nicknamed The Voice for being one of the best-selling music artists of all time, with sales of
Mhm.
over 200 million records worldwide.
We're
Um,
what?
Mr. 305. Just kidding. We're not doing Pitbull. He cannot be a femme
But
fatale. We'll say that. Anyway, she is the only artist to have had 7 consecutive #1 singles on the Billboard 100. Although now that's broken because Taylor Swift has 10
yeah,
10 all at the same time in the top 100. Like or in the top 10. I think they were all like boom, 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 boom.
right.
So some of her popular songs are Saving All My Love for You and Where Do Broken Hearts Go. She's gotten obviously a ton of like awards throughout her time, 2 Emmy Awards, 6 Grammy Awards, 16 Billboard Music Awards, and 28 Guinness World Records.
Oh yeah.
She's
She has been
also
from the
been
beginning.
inducted, she's been inducted into the Grammy Hall of Fame, the Rhythm and Blues Music Hall of Fame, and the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. She began singing in church as a child and became a background vocalist in high school, which is like, who the fuck is putting Whitney in the back? Dear God.
Right? Yeah, like
I don't understand.
lost your fucking job. Hate to be the
Right?
one to break it to you. You're fired.
Yeah, right? She was also one of the first Black women to appear on the cover of 17 magazine after becoming a teen model in 1981.
Okay.
She made her acting debut in the romantic thriller film The Bodyguard, which great fucking movie. If you haven't seen it, go out and watch it. Which was the 10th highest grossing film at that point. It's for sure been passed by now. But it actually received poor reviews for its screenplay and for the lead performances. She recorded 6 songs for the film soundtrack, including the one that everybody knows, which is I Will Always Love You, which won the Grammy Award for Record of the Year and became a best-selling physical single by a woman in music history. Again, that might have changed because of Tay-Tay. We'll see.
Right.
So let's go on a little bit more about her. She was born actually in Newark, New Jersey, which I did not know. She is
Yeah,
the
I
daughter
did
of
know
ex-Army
that.
serviceman and Newark City County Administrator, and gospel singer Emily Sissy Houston. born Drinkard, which is like, that's an unfortunate last name to have. The last name
Right.
Drinkard, not great. I'm sure she got made fun of. Anyway, her older brother Michael is a songwriter, and her half brother is a former basketball player and singer, Gary Garland, which I also did not know before looking this up,
Either.
which I think is really cool. Yeah, isn't
Yeah,
that interesting?
that's interesting. Very interesting.
Yeah. Through her mother, Houston is the first cousin of Dionne Warwick and Dee Dee Warwick, who are also incredible legends. And her godmother is Darlene Love. And her honorary aunt is Aretha Franklin. I mean, can you get any better than that?
Right.
Having your
Yeah.
honorary aunt be Aretha friggin' Franklin. Good
Right.
God. But yeah, she met Aretha at like age 8 or 9 when she went to her first recording studio, which is really cool. At 11, she began performing as the soloist in the gospel choir, which is where she then learned to play the piano. While she was still in school, she kept up with her singing, and her mom helped her. At the time, her mom was with the Sweet Inspirations, which opened for and sang backup for Elvis. So again, she just has like a really strong
Right.
background. In the early 80s, Houston began working as a fashion model after a photographer saw her at Carnegie Hall singing. And so that's when she became the first Black woman on the cover of 17 magazine. But she also appeared in Glamour and Cosmopolitan and Young Miss, and was also in a Canada Dry TV commercial, which I think is very funny.
But that's funny.
Let's see, right? In 1983, Gary Griffith, a representative from A&R, or from Arista Records, saw Houston performing with her mom in a New York nightclub, and he convinced the head of the company at the time, Clive Davis, to make time to see her perform. Davis obviously was impressed and offered her a worldwide record deal. Like, again, because her talent was just so undeniable. But she didn't begin working on an album immediately. They wanted to make sure that no other album signed her, so he made sure he had the right material and producers to debut her albums. And some of those producers that took so long because they were working on other commitments. Anyway, so she also obviously she had a bunch of hits coming out of the gate because her voice is just so undeniable. And then she began getting all of her stuff on TV. So she was on the Tonight Show with Johnny Carson, and all of that kind of stuff.
Right.
Let's see, and then I'm moving forward a little bit. But basically, like, she has just become such an icon. I mean, all of her songs are incredible. Unfortunately, she was at one time married to R&B singer Bobby Brown. And there's quite a bit of story there, which I don't think we really need to get into here. I don't think this
I
is.
wouldn't know.
Yeah.
If you don't know,
but
Google it. But
exactly, yeah, do your own fucking research. But it's
or
still like
talk to us in
throughout everything
Discord
that she
about it.
went
But
through.
yeah.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I'll talk to you in the Discord about it. But so this is where I'm going to skip forward to my favorite thing, which is when she was the producer for Rodgers and Hammerstein's Cinderella. So she actually has her own production company, and in 1997 she changed the name to Brown House Productions and was joined by Deborah Martin Chase. Their goal was to show aspects of the lives of African Americans that have not been brought to the screen before, while improving how African Americans are portrayed in film and television. So their first project was a made-for-television remake of Cinderella. In addition to co-producing, Houston starred in the film as the fairy godmother to singer Brandy, which amazing.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. You had Jason Alexander starring as Prince Charming. Whoopi Goldberg and Bernadette Peters were also in. And Houston was initially offered the role of Cinderella in '93, but other projects intervened. The film is notable for its multiracial cast and non-stereotypical message. An estimated 60 million viewers turned in to the special ABC premiere and its highest ratings in 16 years. The movie even received 7 Emmy nominations, including Outstanding Variety, Musical or Comedy, while winning Outstanding Art Direction and Variety Musical or Comedy Special. Houston and Chase then obtained the rights to the story of Dorothy Dandridge. Houston was to play Dandridge, the first African-American actress to be nominated for an Academy Award for Best Actress. Houston wanted the story told with dignity and honor. However, Halle Berry also had rights to the project and got her version going first. So later that year, Houston paid tributes to her idols such as Franklin, Diana Ross, Dionne Warwick by performing their hits during a 3-night HBO concert called Classic Whitney live from Washington, D.C. The special raised $300,000 for the Children's Defense Fund, which is just so incredible. And at that time, Houston received the Quincy Jones Award for Outstanding Career Achievements in the Field of Entertainment at the 12th Annual Soul Train Music Awards. So
Yeah.
she also was, with everything that she went through, she wanted to give back where she could. And so she did that. And if you have time, like I definitely recommend looking her up and looking up her life story.
Mhm.
It's a mixture of like some beautiful, beautiful moments and then some really, really painful things
Yeah.
that she went through in her personal
Devastating.
life. Um, so yeah, that's a little bit about Whitney Houston. I just think
Yeah.
she's awesome. I think that
She is.
she is
Icon.
she's just such an icon and an incredible voice. Like she sounds gorgeous.
Mhm.
Um Listening to her music, you always get goosebumps just A from like the beauty of her voice, but then also from like the content of her
Right.
lyrics and stuff. And like Chris is saying, her version of the national anthem is like the best ever.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, there are so many songs that she did that just give you chills to listen to, and it's
I
just,
know.
yeah, it's one of those where her personal life had a lot of unfortunate turns,
Yeah,
but yeah, she was definitely a very talented woman.
yeah, absolutely. Um, Another one where it's like gone too soon. She did have a nice,
Absolutely.
I mean, she
Absolutely.
didn't die at like 20, but she lived longer than that, but it's still
She was
gone
still
way
what,
too soon.
40?
I
Hold
can't do
on.
math. I did all that math
I'll look.
earlier about the
Yeah, no,
lottery,
I'll just Google
and
it because I can't
she
figure
was
it
born
out
in
either.
63 and died in 2012. So
Uh,
she was 49 or 50,
yeah,
I think.
it's 48. I'm like, where
Okay.
on this? Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. I was trying to do the math in my head, but I'm not very good at it.
no, I don't, not either.
I'll be
So,
real. I'll be honest.
um, but
Um,
yeah, no, very much gone too soon. Very much an
yeah.
unfortunate circumstance around her death. You know, she did unfortunately struggle with drugs and alcohol. Was a
Yeah.
cardiac event in addition to having cocaine in her system. Led
Yeah.
to a drowning. So, thanks, Chris. Coming in
Thanks, man.
clutch.
Yeah.
45 seconds too late, but I appreciate it.
Yeah.
No, and I just remember when she died, like I knew she wasn't too much further away from, like, my mom is 51, 52
Mm-hmm.
now.
Right.
Um, so I knew she was older than my mom, but not by much. So that's
Yeah.
basically how I gauge everything, and it's still to this day will freak me out that Eminem is closer to my mother's age than mine.
That's hilarious. That's so funny.
But it
That makes
is
me
really
happy.
fun because like Matt's starting to get into Eminem
Yeah. Oh, wow.
and like listen to Rap God, and he like tries his best to rap along with it. And I'm like, bro, start out with like My Name Is or some of the other shit.
Right.
Yeah, I think he definitely was probably the one that introduced her to it, but it's some, you know, way in the realm you have to stop putting the blame on other people and say,
Yeah.
you know, she had to take responsibility for it. But she, from what I remember, she'd go through it in waves where she'd get clean for
Yeah.
a while and do really well, and then she'd relapse. And it's just one of
It's
those
just,
really unfortunate things. I mean,
yeah.
drug and alcohol addiction is nothing to blink your eyes at. It can ruin
No,
lives for sure. So
absolutely. But we're so grateful for everything that Whitney was able
yes.
to accomplish in her short 48 years.
Well, and all
Again,
the
like
people she's influenced.
yeah, I mean, there are so many
Yeah.
people that credit Whitney with like getting into music because
Yeah.
what she could do with her voice and the emotion that she could put into
Oh
all of
God.
her songs, it just made you
Yeah.
like actually feel something, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah. For once in
Um,
my fucking life, my cold, dead
Right.
heart felt something. Yeah.
Exactly. I feel the same. So guys, I think that is going to end it for us
Yes.
tonight. As a quick reminder, we do have other shows here on the
We
LTN Media
do.
Network. We have just a few. Tomorrow is
And
the
when our
boys
ADD
show.
kicks in, we add one more.
Yeah,
It's
exactly. Which is exactly how our podcast came about.
100%.
So the boys are on tomorrow. Their shows are on Wednesdays at 6 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Central. And then on Thursdays, we have our sort of community game night, which is usually around 8:30 Eastern, 7:30 Central. Good. I'm glad you guys should be good to go for tomorrow. And then occasionally we have like other things. We're always in our Discord, so follow us there. And sorry, I just saw Dave's message in chat. And now I forgot entirely what I was about to say. Oh, yes. And now I read the other chat and saw Pucked Up. That was what I was going to say. On Thursdays, we haven't had it for like a little bit because life got in the way. But we have Danger, me and Chris have our own podcast called the Pucked Up Podcast, where we talk about all things NHL. So be on the lookout for that. That's a YouTube exclusive, so be sure to follow our YouTube.
But is that
Go
other?
fuck yourself, YouTube. I hate you guys so fucking much. It's not even funny. The hate is real. This is not a bit. It's totally a bit. I love them, but they're just giving me shit right now behind the scenes. So go suck a dick. All right, we are gonna call it for tonight. Thank you guys so much
But
for
we're
joining
gonna
us.
raid out to our dear friend Zach, right?
Yeah, we're gonna raid Zach.
And then I'm gonna bail and go get my meds, and then I'll be back to get yelled at by D. It'll be great.
Yeah. I don't know if we're gonna do that. We'll think about it. For now, just show him
Yeah.
some love.
Yeah, maybe next time.
He's a good friend of the channel.
Because then we can like have an emote to throw I don't know, but we'll figure
Yeah,
something
we'll have
funny
to
out.
figure that out.
Hashtag come. Yeah, just put hashtag come in chat, please.
Yeah.
Anywho, Zach's a great friend of the channel.
He
One of our
is.
mods, an awesome person in general.
Yeah. So we'll go ahead and raid him. I don't know if Dave's setting that up in the background because I can't fucking do it. I don't know how. So hopefully he is. Okay, good. All right.
right.
Thank you guys so much for joining us. We will see you guys next week. No, we won't.
Yes.
Maybe we will. We'll figure it out.
Oh yeah, because we'll
Yeah.
keep you updated in the Discord.
Yeah, join the Discord. That's where we'll be.
Always. Anyway, good night, y'all.
Yeah.
Thank you for joining us. And
We don't
I
have
need
an
to go get
outro,
my
so we're
meds
just
before-
gonna
yeah, me
ramble.
too.